So, this is it. Last episode of the season.
Well, I mean, way to bust that load early, man.
It is.
It is, but I'm just saying we could have kind of built up to it. We could have had some showmanship towards it. Because it's a show, and that's what you do on a show.
You have to create some anticipation.
God, fuck all of you.
I was just following his lead. Don't get mad.
Don't follow his lead.
I am the only professional showman on this
Screw
show.
it. Let's
you aren't professional.
Let's just end this show on a cliffhanger. That's the best.
That was actually it.
That was the cliffhanger.
Bye, everybody.
All right, guys.
I'm leaving now.
It's been great. It's the end of the season, end of my school year, my time at the school. So this is the last episode of the show.
Remember the first episode we ever did? We also said it was the last episode.
Yeah.
This is really the last episode.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
of the season.
Let's not lie to people. We will be back next season. This is the last episode of the season. Yeah. But go on. Tell me.
So on the way here.
Yeah.
You knew I was going to say this.
Yes.
Courtney's mom called her.
Okay.
And, she's driving, so she has her on speakerphone. And they have, like, this really weird cryptic exchange where she's like, hey, I got some money for that thing that you wanted to do. And Courtney's like, okay. She's like, I thought you'd be more excited. Courtney's like, well, yeah, I'm driving. And her mom's like, oh, is someone else with you? And she's like, yeah. And they're like, oh, okay. And it was so weird. And they just they had a whole conversation without saying anything.
Yeah.
Wait, have you not had a conversation with somebody where you're being, because you don't want other people to know, and so you
but I'm just saying it's crazy how your mom knew going into that conversation without knowing I was in the car. She went into this conversation already knowing to not talk about whatever she was talking about.
It shall remain a secret.
Courtney's buying drugs from her mom.
I am. It's true. My mom is my drug dealer.
Also, she spit on me.
Which was by accident.
Her mom made a joke or
No, so my mom...
Her mom made a cryptic joke. Like she just,
No,
her mom had some
completely
weird
different
reaction
thing.
to something.
Okay.
No, so my mom has been taking care of a family friend of ours because he got really sick. So she's been staying with him and taking care of him for the last 2 weeks. And so I was asking her, like, oh, hey, is he okay? And she said, yeah, he's doing fine. He's doing better and all of that. I'm like, okay, so then are you coming home? And then she just let out this... and I wasn't expecting that. And I was taking a drink of water right then, and I think I also had to cough at the same time, and so then I just spit out the water as I was
She did
laughing.
a legit spit take, but the entire car. It was an eventful ride over.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well. Okay.
Exciting stuff.
I mean, in my mind, I was just trying to imagine all the different things that what could that money have been going towards. I don't know.
Anyone want to take any guesses?
Okay, I have a guess.
This could be a fun game.
You know I have a guess.
Yeah, but she's not going to ever say what it was.
I know,
though, so.
but you know that I had a guess, and I just wanted to be polite and not say. By the way, I mean, here's the thing. I wanted to guess at elective surgery, but I don't know what kind. So the only thing that I could imagine, and by the way, this is not... You know what? I'm going to stop while I'm behind.
You're already there, man. Just keep going.
Yeah, dude, you already made the inappropriate comment.
You don't.
Everyone felt.
We don't hold anything back.
Here's the thing. You know what's funny about someone in your position? Usually, someone in your position is like, well, now if I don't say it, you're gonna assume much worse than what I was actually thinking.
Yeah.
But the thing is, given your history, we're all assuming something much better than what you're about to actually fucking say.
Nose job. I was thinking nose job.
Is there
was the
something
thing.
wrong with my
No,
nose?
it's a beautiful nose. I'm just saying that people do that.
Oh wow, it is a really nice nose.
Very symmetrical. Yeah. It's very. I'm just saying, people, they do that.
People with normal noses don't get nose jobs, Noosh.
Well, I'm just saying, every nose could be better.
What were you
So
thinking?
there is something wrong with
So
my
what?
nose.
What do you think he was gonna say? I was gonna say boob job. Noosh is gonna think boob job.
Listen.
I think he downgraded
Yes.
to nose job because he wanted to not be in much trouble.
I thought to myself boob job, but then I thought to myself, nah, there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go.
If there were a boob job in my future, it would be to reduce, not to add to it.
That's what I'm saying. Is nowhere to go.
Okay, I'm not even gonna do those jokes.
Cool. So who else wants to guess what Courtney's mom's money's going to?
Or what kind of elective surgery?
Okay, elective surgery.
Oh, it could also be LASIK. That would have been the most
LASIK?
platonic, most basic thing that I could have guessed. Where nobody is going to be offended. You're getting laser eye surgery.
Big teeth.
I should have went with that.
Well, you didn't. No one can take back what you
Too late. Yeah,
Sad.
it's now it's out on the airwaves. It's on Facebook Live for
Fantastic.
everyone.
That you think she needs a nose job and a boob job.
Not the boob job.
I was gonna say drugs or like a tattoo or something, but
Yeah.
no.
No.
She was also like, I'm gonna be a librarian, so I think those are not things in her future.
A librarian can be tattooed.
They have to cover it or
Yes.
what?
Probably.
Is there like a
Huh?
rule about a librarian having a tattoo?
You gotta cover up.
You have to cover it?
You have to cover everything. Everything.
Everything.
Yeah. That's how it is.
I
From
don't
your
know.
neck down.
Society is changing. Views
It's
on
not even about
tattoos
tattoos, just librarians
are
gotta be.
changing.
No, I mean, it's not about tattoos. It's about librarians.
Yeah, exactly. It's gotta be turtlenecks.
Yeah, I mean, because
Ugh,
then
I hate turtlenecks.
how else will people imagine the tattoo? If they see it, they can't imagine. Oh, I wonder what they're doing in their real life. Oh, they must have tattoos and they must go to like, clubs and bars. I don't know. I mean, just you imagine what the librarians
You
doing.
look at librarians and you think all that.
I haven't been to a library in like a decade. No, man. I
Well,
don't-
you imagine librarians and you then imagine things
listen,
about your
my
imaginary
entire
librarian.
my entire idea of a library is based on like my 19-year-old self. So basically, my entire impression of what a librarian does in their free time is an extrapolation of what my 19-year-old self must imagine they do. I mean, I'm working off of a simulation, basically.
Yeah, so you're imagining a librarian, and then you're imagining what that imaginary librarian might do in her free time.
From the perspective of a 19-year-old. Yeah.
Okay.
From the perspective of a 19-year-old, that's such an odd age to be thinking about that.
Well, that's the last time I went to a library.
Was when you were 19?
You don't go to the library on campus?
This one doesn't really count as a library because there's no real librarians. They're just students at desks.
Why did 19-year-old Noosh think librarians had tattoos and went clubbing?
Because they must have been doing cool stuff in their real lives, I imagined.
Because
I don't
being a librarian isn't cool? That's her future profession, man.
No,
I gotta be careful.
She's gonna make it cool, I'm sure, with her wild lifestyle. I don't know, but I'm just saying that's. Listen, I'm working off a 19-year-old
You be-
mentality.
Courtney, you better watch out when he walks into your library.
But you're not
he's gonna look at
19
your
anymore.
He's gonna look at your nose, and then he's gonna look at the other thing you need done. So
I've been saying she doesn't need to get that done. It's fine.
I'm glad I have your approval.
I mean, I'm anything if not supportive.
So awkward.
supportive, eh?
So
I mean,
now
which on the
we all
subject
know
of
now
that support
Noosh
is important.
doesn't that Noosh doesn't like Courtney's nose, but he does like her boobs.
I'm glad I can bring that to the show. I'm glad to.
Oh,
Yeah.
Look what you started, Catherine. Ken, what was your thing, dude?
What thing?
Didn't you have?
It was also about Courtney.
Ken, I love how
Was
Ken
it-
plays dumb every single time.
I am
Ken,
dumb.
Ken's just
Stop
like,
playing.
I've got a story, I got something I can talk about. So Ken, what about your thing? Oh, what
What
thing?
thing?
Every time.
You know I can't say that in the air, at least on the Facebook feed.
Oh, okay. Well, then don't. It's fine.
No, I can't say that. Maybe later. That's why you guys have to tune into the show. That's a
Oh,
good, that's a good
cliffhanger. There you go.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
good.
but here's the thing: if that particular person does listen to the show now,
They have
you
to
didn't-
now.
You didn't stop the story from getting out there. You didn't really solve.
I don't care as long as they listen to the show, dude. That's all we care
Touche.
about, right?
I mean, I guess.
Anything for ratings.
Sure.
Huh?
This is a teaser.
Well, I mean, we've been
All
talking
teaser.
about like boobs and tattoos and this whole time. So yeah, we are doing anything for the ratings, basically.
Please
Pulling
listen.
out all the stops. This
Yeah.
is the finale. So
This is it. This is the finale.
This is
All right.
it.
Well then, let's start the last episode of whatever this show is going to be called when I make up a name in a few seconds. All right. See you on the other side.
Get ready.
Welcome to another episode of Happy Endings. I'm your host, Danushka Kumar Singha, and we've got
Disappointment incarnate.
yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, Ryan.
Walters.
No.
His name is Ryan Walters, people. And also we've got
Courtney. Just bringing the boobs to the show.
All right.
Courtney boobs.
As long as okay, a regular
Man just slid right over that. He's like, let's move on.
Our other regular host.
Ken, the guy sitting next to the boobs.
And
in the show.
our guest for today is a very special guest who was once at one time
executive producer,
a host on this show.
He's still executive producer.
He's still his name's still there. It's a part of the contract. It has to be there.
Yeah.
Tim Choi, the man, the legend, the mostly those things, you know.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So okay, well, hold on. The analogy for today. So basically,
You wrote it down.
I did. So what I was
that
saying,
good?
well, let's not give me too much credit. I mean, but since this is our series finale, no, it's our season finale, but our series finale.
It's a finale of sorts.
Yeah, it's basically if we were series finales, which would we be? So yeah, getting a little abstract. So Ken, if you were a season finale or a series finale, you would be the How I Met Your Mother ending.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Because
A lot of people didn't like that.
well, no, because for one specific reason though. I chose it because no matter how long the story is, it always comes back to a certain girl. Always.
That's pretty good.
Oh my god.
You know what's funny about that, though, is people listening don't know that yet.
Oh, they will.
Yeah.
Because as soon as these mics are off, he's always like, guys, everything I do is for this one person.
It's a romantic story, really. Courtney,
Yes.
if you were a series finale, you'd be the Sopranos ending
Sopranos.
because it's a cliffhanger.
What if someone hasn't seen the ending of that show?
Well, I'm not going to mention at all
okay.
what the actual ending is, but it's a cliffhanger.
Good.
But we know that next season it's going to end up being about dicks.
What?
I don't see that connection.
I didn't get that from the Sopranos ending at all.
Mostly because everybody, is guessing about what that ending could mean, what it all could mean in the end. But
as
I'm
far
saying
as Courtney's concerned,
but
we're guessing dick.
we're guessing dick. Yeah, that's
Okay.
I am more than just dick.
no,
And
you're
boobs.
And boobs.
You're
And boobs too.
dick.
I am more than just dick and boobs.
What a combination. Ryan, you are the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And the reason why, though, is this, actually. I felt like this was the best example of that exact ending that encompasses you.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you guys remember how it ended, but it ended with, like, a really meaningful ending. Everybody...
Yeah, doesn't he like walks out of
Well,
the
they're
The
all
house
saying their
is
goodbyes.
empty and-
The house
yeah.
is empty. They're all saying their goodbyes. It's like a really heartfelt, like, hey, Uncle Phil, just for everything you did for me. Thank you, Uncle. Like
Yeah.
that. And then they all leave the house, and then Carlton gets left behind.
Oh, yeah.
And it literally just ends on a Carlton joke. Cut to black. And that's your end.
I'm a Carlton joke?
No, you're the guy who you'll end it on a joke. That's it. It always ends on a joke with Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
I got one for you too, Tim, but I'm gonna go to me first. My one is.
By the way, Tim has no idea what's happening right now.
Tim. Well, we do analogies,
No,
Tim.
you
Basically,
guys, I haven't been paying attention to the show, but you guys are so well knit together that there's nothing I can interject. There's no openings.
well, thanks, Tim. That's almost that's a close thing to a compliment anybody's ever given this show.
All right.
So if I was a series finale, I'd be the Friends ending. Because it's heartfelt, it's meaningful, and in the end, everybody goes their separate ways.
Yeah, okay.
The most sappiest ending, basically.
No.
Yeah. Tim, if you were a series finale, I actually did think about this when I knew you were coming.
Bring it.
If you were a series finale, dude, you would be basically the way Fox ends any series, which is basically
Cut this funny?
it officially goes on hiatus and disappears for a while, and then we find out later it's been canceled, which is totally the Tim ending.
Firefly.
Yeah.
Firefly, and also
Then they
just
make
how
a
you-
movie later.
Yeah, and just how you disappeared for like a year, basically.
Very mad at Tim.
What?
You're
Why?
mad at
Why?
Tim?
Why are you mad at me?
No, not Tim in general. Just that freaking Fox. I'm mad at Fox. They cancel a lot of shows I
You
like that way.
encompass Fox,
Yeah.
Tim.
No,
you
I
are
encompass
Fox.
the series that Fox canceled.
That's a lot of series.
It's a lot of
It's a
series.
lot.
So
As-
I wouldn't represent Fox. I would represent the
Yeah.
series you love.
Tim,
All the
listen,
series
that-
Tim is the guy who got canceled. He's not. He's
Yeah,
not
he's not-
Fox
he's not
doing
the-
the canceling.
I
He's
love.
a little
I
bit
love
of
Tim
Fox
then.
He's a
doing
little
it.
bit of both.
Because he chose to go on hiatus indefinitely.
Yeah.
Well, not indefinitely.
I can only
Yeah.
really focus on one thing at a time, and
Yeah.
at that time, since when's this show started, I've
been
been
WoW.
playing World of Warcraft. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing that you're.
Well, Tim, tell us a little bit about yourself before we jump into everything.
What? You can just go back and watch season 1.
Yeah. Okay. If you guys want to know anything about, if you want to know anything about Tim, go
Listen
watch
to the very first
episode.
awful episode.
It wasn't awful.
You know what? I would actually like to listen to that again just to
Yeah.
hear how
How
we
far
sound
we've come.
compared.
Yeah.
I mean, probably not that far, but
If we ever do
we
like
sound more comfortable. I'm
if we
sure.
ever do like B-sides, what we can do is play that, and then you guys can interject and comment on it.
Like
Listen,
riff
listen
tracks?
to yourself. Listen to
It
yourself.
would be
riff
riff
tracks
tracks because
of-
I would just be making fun of it
Wait.
all the time.
So you're suggesting that every year you just do a director's cut on the previous year's episodes,
That'd be interesting.
maybe.
I think.
and then
I
you
think
could
it
just
could
do
be fun.
recursive, and you could do director's cut on the director's
Dude, this
cut.
is why you're the executive
Yeah,
producer.
yeah. Great ideas.
Over here.
Because I listen to Star Talk. You guys listen to Star Talk? And
Yeah,
every
with,
now and then they have like a best of episode where they just put clips of really good stuff
it's
they
just-
had on their
yeah,
show.
just
Well,
I think we
guys,
should-
guys. In order to have a best of,
We have to have best.
you have to have best.
Yeah.
Like-
We've had some good ones.
Yeah, we have.
I'm just
Mostly,
kidding,
mostly
guys.
Courtney's penis stuff. My goodness,
Well, I
every
mean, that's-
So,
episode.
are we saying that penises have saved the show?
Well,
No, you have saved the show.
Listen, the first time Courtney was on the show, it wasn't about penises.
That's true.
it was about poop.
It was about
Poop.
Yeah. There's also a
and vaginas that
moneymaker.
poop.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I want to throw out there about this room that we're talking about, right? This is our last time in the studio for a while, is that people don't take care of this equipment very well. I mean, I intern at this station also, and I was telling them that, like, basically I've seen people come in here with, like, pizza and just throw the pizza on the equipment and the tables, like it's
Right.
whatever. And I've literally heard that apparently somebody came to this station with a child and then changed a diaper in here.
Which
And then
that
left
is
it.
fine.
Listen, and
but
that's
the problem
whatever,
is
but
that
they
they
left
left
the diaper,
it.
yeah.
That's the problem.
No,
They-
guys,
they
it's not
left-
fine that they changed a diaper on this expensive equipment.
Well, not on the table.
Listen, man, I
but
doubt they did it on this table. They probably did it over there.
Yeah,
Listen,
exactly.
It's not in this room. It's in the downstairs one. Remember the old studio where it was tiny? And
Well,
there's
there's
literally
only the one table.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's
dungeon?
only the dungeon only has one table.
And a lot of posters.
Yeah.
What do you use the dungeon for now?
There was only
It's
that
gonna be
one
a recording
table.
studio.
There was
Recording
only that
studio.
one table, but the mic's hanging over right as they're changing the child.
Yeah.
Essentially, right?
Well,
It's-
yeah. How would they have done it?
Did it smell like baby powder? and
Maybe
poop?
they did it like on the floor, or they did it,
You're giving people.
or they did
listen,
it beforehand, but they just kept the diaper in there for some reason and left it.
You guys are really
Not
That's
that
the
makes
worst
it better.
part.
You guys are
No,
re-
that is the worst part. I'm not saying that's better.
You could do it
I'm
just
just
to
trying
let
to
anybody
logistically
know.
understand how someone changed a diaper under a microphone without any noise.
Well, you turn the mic off, like I do for Ken every single episode.
Anytime he starts to talk. Oh, Ken.
I'm not even gonna say anything anymore.
Look, so
Well, no one will know because your mic's off.
there's one thing that I do want to cover before we move on. Our topic for today, everyone, is romance. Well, this is romance part 2. We've done a romance, so this is our very
Did we
first.
do romance?
Romance
done.
Was it-
2.0.
Yeah, this is
was
romance
it
2.
Something else.
Officially, it's romance 2 episode. But before we
Yeah,
go
we
into
did
it,
do romance
Yeah.
because remember, wasn't that when we talked about Second Life and all that stuff?
I think so. Yeah, it's a while ago. Yeah. But anyway, before we even start this, I need to hear that story about your sister. It's really important to me. Before we start the story, I want to say this. I want to vouch for all the audience members out there and anybody listening that Ken's sister, what is her name?
Tiff.
How are you going to
Ken's
vouch for someone's
sister, Tiff, is absolutely heterosexual. She is. Now, Ken, tell me your story about your
Go on.
your sister's gay
He's
ways.
like, I don't know your sister, but I know she's straight.
Here's what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
I was running an errand. Usually on Mondays I run errands and my sister's with me. And I was walking across the street and I was right by Alhambra High School. And at this time it was at noontime, so everybody's having lunch. So all the teachers are having lunch outside. So this guy just walks up to me, kind of like maybe in his 30s. He looks at me up and down, and then he looks at my sister and asks, "Hey, is this your mom?" And I'm
Oh,
now I'm
Who the
not
hell does that?
at this point. I'm thinking
why do you care? Also,
At this point, I'm just thinking he's a crazy person, right? Because he has a cigarette in his
just
ass. Yeah.
Hey,
hearing your
is that
story,
your mom?
I just thought he's the principal, and he's just like, "Hey, you should be in class. Is that your mom? No, you should be more responsible."
No, but he's wearing like a t-shirt and maybe
Yeah.
like some slacks. I was like, who is this guy? Why is he smoking in
He's
front
a
of me?
cool principal.
Well, he's looking at me, and then he looks me up and down again. I was like, oh, you look like the guy in my class. So I'm assuming he's the high school teacher that teaches there. So pretty much he insulted my sister, but I feel great.
Yeah.
So I'm like thinking, people think I'm young. I still get carded everywhere I go. But to think that I'm in
High school.
high school still?
What does this have to do with your sister being gay?
I didn't say it was about her being gay.
Oh.
That's after.
Yeah, you set
Okay.
that up for no reason.
So after, okay, she's not.
It's not that I set it up for no reason. I asked for that story, and he gave me a different story.
No, he's leading up to it.
Okay.
She's not happy to begin with. Okay.
Yeah.
She's not happy to begin with. We're in the car. She's like, well, I guess I'm not your mother. Well, okay. So we're in the car. We drive off. She's talking about how her friend is half Asian, half white. And you're like, oh, okay. Her mom is like the whitest woman you could see. She's blonde. And then somehow it just, hey, guess who also is half white? My friend Courtney. And then my sister thinks about it, and she's like, oh, yeah, she's really pretty. Really, really pretty.
And my mom is also the whitest mom you'll ever see. Blonde
Yeah,
also.
that's true.
Yeah.
And I'm like saying how you kind of look like your mom, and and my sister wants to see your mom now, I think.
Okay. Well, I mean,
All right.
okay.
Romance.
Absolutely heterosexual, though.
Absolutely heterosexual.
Yeah.
Except for Courtney. Hey, man, listen.
I mean,
girls
everybody's got-
sometimes they...
Yeah. Well, I mean, guys too.
Guys too.
Again,
too,
you
yeah.
could appreciate a good-looking person, right?
Yeah.
No matter
Yeah.
what
Exactly.
your
You don't have to-
orientation
you don't
is.
have to question
And listen, if that good-looking
sexuality.
person wants something, you give it to him. You know, I mean, that's what
I'm
you
pretty
do.
sure I'm gonna get brownie points if I ever date Courtney. From my
your
sister.
sister?
From my sister.
Okay, good, man.
But we don't need to date because we're married.
Yeah, I tell her that too.
We didn't even know this.
Oh yeah.
No, we brought
Well,
it up before.
yeah, you guys-
Well, you
maybe
brought it
haven't
up in a
paid attention.
messenger, but you didn't
Yeah.
really.
well, we will tell that story.
Yeah, she was
Next season.
My sister was not happy about that.
That we're married.
No, someone called her my mom.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't relate too much to that, but the thing I can relate to is I remember one time I was at the mall and I was going down the escalator and somebody was like, "Oh, when are you due?" And I'm like, "Not pregnant."
Dude, who says
Do we-
shit
That-
like that?
that-
to random
that was-
strangers?
that was
Dude, we
a-
gotta list like all the bad stuff you could say to like women, single women.
That was.
That's
I'm
one
not.
of 'em.
I'm not a sensitive person, but that
Doesn't matter.
That made you cry a little, didn't it?
inside I was crying.
That made me cry a little.
Well, speaking of crying a little bit, the topic for today's episode again is Romance 2. So we've got Courtney. What's
Yep.
your story, Courtney?
Sorry, it just happened today that like all of a sudden I got like this frog in my throat, and so I might be coughing every now and again.
It's all right. It's my life.
So, all right. So what I'm going to talk to you is about romantic friendship.
Oh my gosh! By the way, I want to say this. I want to say this. That's the exact story.
Right on point.
That's the exact story I actually wanted to do, but I opted not to because I'm not joking. It felt like it wasn't my kind of story. I was like, this doesn't feel like a news story. I'm not gonna do romantic friendship.
He can't do it because it's about him.
Well, when I first saw this, when I was looking stuff up and I saw romantic friendship, and then I was reading about it, and I'm like, this is Noosh and Ryan.
Yeah.
Romantic fist
Well, I
bump.
mean, actually, no, because I know that story. It's a little. Oh no, shit! No, it is Noosh and Ryan. Actually, I just realized, well, I was gonna say there's one
Go
thing that
on.
this story does that we don't do, but I was like, oh no, we've done that too. Actually, go on.
So, what romantic friendship is? It was a very popular thing, mainly in like around the 19th century, in terms of different type of relationships that people had, and it was all it really is friendship between like two males or two females, but
Intense.
it's really intense,
Yeah.
and it even goes beyond just. It almost feels like they could be an actual relationship, but there's no sex or anything. It's
They do
completely,
everything but fuck. That's
pretty
what,
much, yeah.
yeah.
You said
But
it.
fuck.
You said it so eloquently. It's really hard to talk to you right now because all I see is a screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, what happened here?
There's
there we
not
go.
much of a conversation
Yeah.
flow happening. There we go. That's a little bit better. So, I mean, yeah, that's basically all it is, and I just thought it was interesting, and as I was reading a couple different things, it made to say that this whole notion of two men can't be friends or two females can't be friends, really intense friends, without questioning their sexuality. That's really more of a 20th century onward notion, because
Right.
up until then it was completely fine, and actually it was even encouraged for men to go off and be with men to really, I mean, like if you think about what you do with your girlfriend or your wife or whatever, where you're sharing your innermost feelings and all of that stuff, or cry on each other's shoulders, that's what you would do with your male friend or your female friend.
I feel like that's something you should just do with friends. period.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
but I
that's
mean,
just
there's
people.
I think there's like a stigma, especially the whole thing of like masculinity and whatnot.
The part of the reason is because before romantic friendship went out of fashion, it was like homosexuality wasn't out in the open. It was kind of hidden a lot more. Like a lot of people hid that part of it.
Oh, and then people were like,
and then as people
"You guys might be gay.
Well,
Get out of here!"
yeah.
And,
got,
but
like,
again,
real-
that's a 20th century thing because
Right.
what I was reading, they were saying that even the idea of homosexuality or being gay, that wasn't even entered into the minds of
Right.
people at that time. It was perfectly fine. I mean, from the story last time with the Navy, I mean, they were having a good old time in
Well,
Rhode Island.
they were pretty open.
Well, they were being open, but people were pretty
But that's their
accepting
point.
of
That's
it.
what
No,
she's saying.
actually,
They didn't
here's
care
what I'm
about
saying though. About last time we did a show. Remember the story about what was Buchanan?
Yeah,
Buchanan
exactly.
and
That would be a
one guy,
romantic. That would
Rufus?
be a romantic
They
friendship.
were. I mean, some people justify it saying, "Well, he wasn't gay because they were in a romantic friendship." That's the other side
Yeah.
of the justification.
I thought it was cool though. So like this was as it was becoming popular. So the college slang for a romantic friendship included smashes, crushes, or spoons.
All
Now all of those mean sex.
cool.
They mean something else but sex.
Well, and also I thought I didn't find too much on the guy side of
That's
it,
my
but
sp-
for
That's my
Wait,
spoon.
By the way,
That's
one thing
really-
that
that's
I don't know if
really-
you're going to mention a little bit, but one of the things about romantic friendship, that was also that it was very common for these men. I don't know if women did it, but
No,
these
what-
men. They share a bed together. They
Yeah.
sleep in the same bed
Sleep in
together.
the same bed
they
together.
spoon. So that's what I was gonna say. Well, me and Ryan have never done that.
so between you two, who's the big spoon? Who's the little spoon?
Who do you?
hey,
Come on.
hey, hold on.
We've never spooned though.
Maybe.
What do you mean, hold
why?
on?
Why am I always that guy? Why is it that in every conversation? Remember, I told you guys like a long time ago the story about that one guy who tasted his own semen.
Yeah.
and he assumed.
And
well,
everyone assumed it was you.
Well, no. Everybody assumed that he assumed that if anybody else did it, it would be me.
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
am I always that guy?
You set yourself up for that.
Yeah, you do.
You're. I don't know. You're flamboyant, I guess.
Yes.
But also curious at the same time.
I
So
mean, I guess though, if any,
You also do have the childlike innocence of someone who might taste their own semen to see what it tastes
I
like.
have never done that, and I never will. Though I will acknowledge though
Which
that
I don't
Ryan-
understand why it is you.
Courtney, this is
Gross.
a conversation we had last time, and
Gross.
you're never gonna see eye to eye with us on this.
Gross.
I'm not.
But I will say though that yes, I can imagine Ryan's arms around me like a spooning fashion. I think that it would feel better with his arms and my arms around him. I'm just saying. I mean, from like a completely like platonic comfortability
No homo.
sort
Yeah.
of stance.
That's what I'm saying. You guys have
All
I
the
think
homo.
romantic friendships should come back. Honestly,
you guys ever hugged Tim?
Listen.
You guys ever hugged Tim before? It's a nice hug.
I've hugged him before.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How does
Good
that
hug.
feel?
What?
It's
I don't remember
soft like
any
a
of this.
pillow.
He's like, I don't remember this.
It's a warm
You
pillow.
were
It's a
It's a
probably
long
drunk.
time ago.
Listen, Tim, you were asleep on the couch, and he just came over and just.
Glomped him.
even hugs need consent, guys.
No, I've hugged him before. I mean, like when I'm leaving.
I mean, I've done the
Somewhere.
old like.
Yeah.
See a pat on the back. bro
See,
hug
in a
thing.
romantic friendship, though, you don't need to do the whole manly just pat in the back. You give
Speaking
full-on
of speaking
hugs.
of full on non-consensual romantic friendship hugs, just in the studio right now. Noosh hugged me, and he
Oh,
got
yeah?
upset that I didn't hug him back.
It's been a
With enough
while since
vigor.
I've seen him. He didn't seem like he wanted it.
My hand, I was sitting on my hands against the table, and
Convenient.
then he hugged around my arms. Like, what am I supposed to do like that?
Hey, Noosh, to the question you posited a couple minutes ago about why Noosh is always the
I don't
one-
wanna hear
The
this.
little spoon?
The
It's gonna be so insulting. I know. I just know
Okay.
It's
it.
coming.
what's it called? The reason why Noosh is always the one is because in this relationship, even though they're both very, they're very friendly with each other, Noosh is always the one that wants more.
Yeah,
He's the instigator.
I want it bad. I want it
Yeah,
bad too.
he suggests stuff.
I want it too
he's
bad.
the one that wants to define
He
everything.
initiates.
So
Yeah.
if,
He
if
wants
there's
to
anything
know.
that pushes the relationship to the limit,
Dude, you
Noosh
know
is
what
the
it
one
is?
that
God
initiates
damn
It's
it. So much
because
insight.
it's because based on like the stereotypical. I'm gonna say stereotypical psychology of blah 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 and
Yeah.
historical BS, whatever.
Words.
It is that whole thing where masculinity is defined by aloofness,
Yeah.
and femininity is defined by some kind of like, I don't know, want.
Yeah.
So
A need.
yeah,
You're so needy.
Yeah.
So Noosh
I'm-
is more
That's what it
feminine.
is.
only with him though. I'm not really needy with anybody else.
Noosh is for needy.
Yeah.
It's okay, man.
Yeah.
There has to be someone that pushes.
I mean, I
the
guess.
Yeah,
relationship
listen, man.
forward.
If both of us just didn't give a shit, we wouldn't even be friends.
Yeah, you can't do
So-
that.
There you go,
We're
see?
both basically if we were both the guys on the poster with the backs to the audience, then there wouldn't be a band.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
We were only friends because you keep trying so hard. I'm just
You need one guy to tickle the other guy with a feather.
Well, I was going to say
Yeah.
also, I mean, what was interesting, one thing I read was that, so talking about female romantic friendships, I thought this was interesting. So I'm going to read this quote right here. So when a Vassar girl takes a shine to another, she straightaway enters upon a regular course of bouquet sendings, interspersed with tinted notes, mysterious packages of Ridley's mixed candies, locks of hair, perhaps,
Jesus.
and many other tender tokens until at last the object of her attentions is
Gets a
captured.
restraining order.
The two women become inseparable, and the aggressor is considered by her circle of acquaintances as smashed.
The
That's
aggressor
the
is
smash?
smashed?
How is that any different from stalker?
Yeah, right. She's sending
I-
locks of hair.
Locks of hair. I know that kind of pushes it over the edge for me.
So
But-
that's noosh.
I always heard. I always
You're
heard
the
rumors
aggressor.
about Vassar.
I'm kidding.
So Noosh is the smasher?
What year? What
No,
year?
Smash.
were they
Like
like
talking
in
the
about?
that,
Smashy,
well,
yeah.
from that quote
No,
comes
Vassar
from
incident?
No, I don't think so.
1873.
He's the smasher.
1873.
You are the smash.
So, yeah,
But
the-
it
the
says
19th
the
century.
aggressor is smashed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Aggressor
so but they're now like a couple, but
No,
I
no,
mean
no,
they're
smash.
in a
The-
romantic.
Oh, you know what I
friendship.
think? I think smash just means they're
Like together.
together,
They're
together
together.
now.
They're
Yeah.
smashed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that still makes
they
Noosh the
smash.
smasher.
Smashed potatoes.
So then you're the smashy, Ryan.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
It doesn't
Ryan
sound
got
right.
smashed.
That
Because
sounds
listen,
really weird.
But
Ryan
I'm
got
also
smashed.
I can't get the current definition of smash out of my head. And I don't ever
Me
get
neither.
smashed. I do the smashing. So you're smashed.
No.
Oh my
I
goodness.
smashed you. I mean,
Oh Lord.
anyway, all right. Well,
So I
It's
mean,
okay, little
that's basically. I mean, just I think we should bring back romantic friendships.
We already did.
I thought we
Well,
did.
yeah, you guys did. So we should spread it out more and say
nah,
it's
it's
okay.
a two-man thing. We're not.
Oh, you can't
there's
share
no,
it?
There's no vacancies here. I mean, the closest thing to a vacancy is like Tim.
Tim's allowed.
Tim's allowed in.
Okay.
But the thing is, you know why Tim is allowed? It's because he doesn't really give a shit. He gives a shit even less than I do.
I
He
also,
comes and
by the
goes
way,
freely.
I feel really funny about this that Tim actually gives more of a shit when he's not around. Like when he's here with us, he just doesn't want to be here.
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah, because he wasn't here before.
How did you get him here?
He just called us. He messaged us to join.
I'm here because the idea of being here sounded fun, but I forgot how unfun this
Yes.
was.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Wah.
I forgot. I
forgot this
You're
wasn't
not,
fun.
How
you're not
unfun this
having
was.
fun.
Tim, as soon as he
Really?
sat down, he was like, "This was a mistake."
This was a mistake.
No,
Why
as,
did
soon
I
as,
come
as soon
here?
as I sat down, it's I remember why I wasn't coming.
And that's why he's a part of the.
God, we love
yeah,
Tim.
we do. Well,
So
yeah.
that's enough about
Vassar.
people and their different kinds of relationships. Let's talk about lions.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, before I talk about this particular lion and this whole story, I mean, you guys
Wait,
may
is
have heard
Christian
this.
the Lion?
No, it's
Okay.
not Christian Lion. Although that's
That's a-
another
that's a
good.
hell of a
that's
story.
another good lion
That
love
video
story.
is very tearful,
Yeah.
especially with the Whitney Houston
Yeah.
background song.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, go on.
So the first thing I want to mention though is there's a place in Laguna Beach called Lion Country where this story takes place, and when I found out what this was, I thought it was fucking hilarious. So I just want to say that first. There's a fucking chain of drive-through lion preserves in America in the 70s. They were a drive-through
As
It
in
was-
the safari cars
and
or
a chain.
as in
I
that,
mean, the
like,
pictures I saw were people's El Caminos and shit. It was like their regular cars.
Wait.
So it was
wow.
called
Well-
Lion Country, and it was a chain of
Let's just
fucking
let's just
drive-through.
appreciate the drive-through lion preserve.
Oh, that's what's.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about they can drive their own car.
They drive their car
park.
through. Yeah, it's like a safari park, but just the idea that they called it a drive-through.
They
What-
had that
what
on.
I'll
animals-
take one
what
lion
animal
to go,
preserve?
please.
They had
What-
that on The Simpsons.
With a side of fries.
What's their rule on convertibles?
I don't know.
I don't
mean,
think you can have one.
I don't know. The only car I saw in like some of the pictures was like I said, like an El Camino,
El Caminos.
stuff like that. So anyway,
Wait, I'm really curious also how this is going to tie into romance later. Like, go.
well,
Well, keep listening.
that doesn't have anything to do with what I'm talking about. This story tastes there, but I
Okay,
just
okay.
thought that was really funny.
Okay.
And the 70s were a wacky time, man. Okay, so anyway, Lion Country. There's one in Laguna Hills, and it had a dozen lionesses. Is that the plural for lioness?
Yeah, lionesses.
Lionesses.
Yeah.
All right, so they had a dozen. They had 12 that were of mating age, and they were like,
Yeah.
they were ready to
They're
go.
heat. They're
Yeah.
They're
So
waiting.
they introduced him. Did you get a picture of the?
No,
The Simpsons.
No, it's the
Oh, it's the
Simpsons version
Simpsons,
of
the
Discount
Simpsons
Lion
version.
Safari, which is pretty similar.
Yeah. So they introduced them to 5 different young, hot man lions.
5 different ones.
Yeah.
5 for 12.
5 different ones because none of them, not a single one of those lionesses wanted any of them. Nothing. They weren't interested in any of them. So let's go to Mexico now. There was a lion there named Frazier.
Nice.
He was raised in a Mexican circus until they went bankrupt in 1970. So Lion Country bought him from them after this. And he was 19 years old, which is like fucking 80 in lion years, okay? He's old as shit. He is so old that he can't really walk. His legs are all jacked up.
Aw.
He has no teeth. He has no muscle control in
my
his tongue, and it's constantly falling out of his face. I have pictures of
Frazier.
him. I have pictures of him. There he is. Tongue out, just being an old ass lion.
Oh, dude, he looks like an old ass lion. Yeah.
And as a joke, a really kind of cruel joke now that I'm saying it out loud, the Lion Country people decided to introduce him to those 12 lionesses.
Dude, I feel like the lions are just gonna eat him or something.
They did a thing, but it wasn't that. They fucked the shit out of him is what they did. By the end of the day, or the next morning, they were all over him. They were all 12 of them, just sitting around him all the time. They were obsessed with him. He was banging them all, just all of them.
And he could do it. He was all good there. I mean, his tongue is.
I mean, he was good there. He couldn't really see.
It's because they didn't
His
have
tongue
the
was all-
lionesses didn't have time for the young, stupid, inexperienced
Yeah.
lions. They wanted a mature
Well,
male lion.
He lived in a circus.
Yeah,
He'd
he
never
didn't have-
banged anything
Yeah.
before, so he's
Dude.
not experienced.
He probably
Hey,
has.
good for him that on his way out he.
Yeah,
he literally on his way out on the last minute of his deathbed he did more than any other lion.
you
I
know-
mean, he did live for another couple years,
Yeah.
but yeah, he
Yeah.
You know, ladies like a nice accent, so he probably had a nice
Oh, dude.
lion Spanish accent.
Dude, he's the Dos Equis guy.
Yeah,
he's like.
The most interesting lion in the world.
I don't always sleep with lionesses, but when I do, it's 12.
at a time.
At a time with my tongue out. Ah.
they would even help him walk. When he got up to walk,
Aw.
2 of them would walk next to him.
Aw.
They would chew his fucking food for
Dude,
him.
by the way, does that mean that those lionesses were into cougars? They were, you know what I mean? They're into oh no, cougars are just
Cougars
for
for
women.
women.
Cougars for women,
Oh,
dude.
yeah, that's true.
they're into old dudes.
Silver foxes.
Silver
That's
There you
also
go.
a woman.
No, silver fox
Silver
is
fox
a man.
is a guy.
Oh, is
Silver
it?
fox, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you-
Yeah.
Well,
I
this
always
one's-
thought fox was girl.
No.
I mean, it
There's
can
actually
be,
male
but silver
foxes.
fox,
Like
at least
Foxy.
in my mind, Foxy is women, I think, but
Yeah.
silver fox is guy.
I only know this because George Clooney's can consistently be referred to.
Yeah, George Clooney
As
would be
a
an
silver
example of a
fox.
silver
Mm,
fox.
So yeah, they're obsessed with him. They would chew his food for him. Before he died, he banged out 35 cubs
Nice.
between the 12 of them. And now here's the thing: he got this weird human following. A lot of old people, dudes especially, were really into him, and they wore shirts with his face. And he was referred to as Frazier, the sensuous lion. There was all kinds of memorabilia. And here's the thing: this was before Viagra, so I think a lot of old guys were just
They saw themselves in him.
I could still bang. This is awesome. Old people, go us.
Yeah.
A Scottish clan adopted him as a mascot, and they came to his funeral and did the whole bagpipes thing to
Nice.
send him off when he died. And he is considered the first X-rated zoo attraction in history. Also, I really hope he's the last because that's a really gross title. That's a weird. I don't know what other things are gonna fall under that, but I hope nothing else ever does. That's.
I have
Yeah.
seen lions made at the zoo before.
Is the X-rated part a joke, or is that actually?
No, that's what Time magazine called him. Was the first X-rated zoo attraction in history.
Is it because every time they go to the park,
Well,
just
it's because-
all they
it's
see is him
because-
fucking?
No. It wasn't. Actually, when people went to go see him, it was really uneventful usually because he was just laying around being old and sleeping. Actually, the Time guy, the guy who wrote the article, said that he watched him. They tried to get him whatever because he was there to write an article about him.
Dude, what a weird thing. I want to write an article about this lion,
Well, because
but
he
I
got
have to
this,
see
he got
him.
this weird following, yeah, and so
But he had to see the lion fucked.
no, he didn't want to see
so
him
he had to
fuck.
see it with his own eyes to see
He
if
wasn't.
it's
He
true.
wasn't there to see him fuck. He was just there to see him be Fraser the Lion,
Yeah.
which included a lot of fucking,
Yeah.
incidentally. But he didn't see him do any of that. They just
Yeah.
tried to get him to do anything other than lay there. So they threw meat in there, and he got all excited. He got up, and the lionesses came over and helped him walk over there, and he tried to eat it, and he fucking missed. Like his tongue just like hits the dirt, and he just gave up and fell asleep. And the guy was just like, I guess they're into him because he really gives he doesn't give a shit about anything. Like he just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just
So the reason he's an X-rated zoo attraction, though, is because people went there specifically
To
because
try to see
yeah.
that.
I don't know if it's to see him have sex, but the only reason he's famous is because he fucks so much
Yeah.
and he's old.
People went to try to see him.
I'm sure they did.
That's what they
I'm
wanted
sure
to
they
see.
did. I'm sure they did.
I
They wanted a small portion of his charisma.
They wanted to
Yeah,
get some of his mojo.
They wanted his mojo.
If they could get anything, then if they could get 1% of what he had, then
Yeah.
They just wanted to suck up some of his essence.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's Fraser the Lion.
Yeah.
Yay,
I wonder how many
Frasier.
kids. I wonder if they've.
I mean, they're still around.
Yeah.
Or
descendants.
I don't know how many
Descendants.
descendants he has.
I mean, he had 35 kids. So
Yeah,
he's definitely got one or
He's
two.
got a whole
Yeah.
state's population by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
A whole pride.
So, Ken?
Oh, me.
Oh no, I thought
I thought
it was Tim's turn.
I thought it was Tim's turn.
Oh, okay, Tim.
Well, I mean, it's a nice segue because mine also deals with animals. Have you guys ever heard the true love story, the greatest love story of our generation, between Grape-kun and Hulu Hulu?
Listen, I can promise you
Hulu.
nobody.
Hulu.
No, Hululu. That's
Hululu.
Hululu.
And what was the other thing?
Grape-kun.
Grape-kun?
Grape-kun.
No.
Like the honorific for Japanese.
Yeah.
No.
I have not.
Okay, let me set this up. This is gonna take a little bit of time. Okay. Okay.
All right,
so,
go for it.
So there's a zoo in Japan, Tobu Zoo in Saitama.
Mhm.
Okay. They're doing a cross promotion with a new anime that's coming out called Kemono Friends, which is like Animal Friends, where they what's that word? Anthropomorphize.
Anthropomorphize.
Anthropomorphize zoo animals. Okay.
Okay.
Into make them into cute girls and then have them do crazy hijinks stuff and then make them the show.
Like
Which,
you
I mean,
do.
by the way, that is a genre in Japanese anime where they take, like, battleships and make them cute anime girls, tanks, make them cute anime girls. Like, literally anything, let's make it a cute anime girl. Windows is a cute anime girl in Japan. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Windows. Just in general.
Microsoft markets Windows.
Oh, Windows.
No.
Yeah, I
thought
thought
you
you
meant
thinking
like
of a
the-
window. like it
no.
just.
No, it was
Glass, see-through glass things.
It was
pretty
Windows version. There was a Windows
Yeah.
7, Windows 8, Windows 2000.
And they're all different. They have a name, dude.
Dude, was Vista like just handicapped or like really
it was
horrible
OS
looking?
10.
OS Ton.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on.
Go on,
Okay,
man.
so the zoo was doing a cross promotion with the series that was currently airing. Okay, and they had their characters that represented the animals inside with the pens.
Okay.
So they
Like a
had
cutout?
a cardboard cutout of the character.
Exactly. So there was a camel, a kangaroo, raccoon, fox, beaver, tapir. Basically, they were in the pen, and then they also had the voice actor of the character
In the pen?
No, not
the cardboard.
No,
Cardboard's
like
in the pen.
over the speaker
Yeah.
next
Okay,
to the
okay.
exhibit,
Oh, okay.
explaining stuff about the.
it would talk about the animals.
Yeah,
So that's,
exactly.
yeah, okay.
So it's like
That's
cross
cool.
promotion,
Yeah.
promoting the series, also promoting going to the zoo, watching the animals,
learning
like
stuff
that.
about animals.
Exactly. So win-win for both. Okay.
Okay.
There was one side effect of that. One of the animals fell in love with the characters.
One of the animals fell in love with her cardboard cutout.
Yes.
Which one in particular?
Grape-kun, the penguin. He's a Humboldt penguin.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And Hululu is the girl character that's in with the penguin.
So she's the penguin person.
Yeah.
Yep. If you want to see a picture.
What does she
I
look
do.
like?
Oh my god, is that him standing there looking at her?
Yep. So
He's looking at her so longingly.
this promotion started like a month ago, or maybe a couple weeks ago, and
This
He-
this is happening now.
yes,
Oh my
it's
god.
still happening now, and
This
he
is
will
amazing.
not leave her side.
That's,
Oh, man.
that's some love.
Dude,
He-
he's really staring at her like, wow.
His zookeepers are having trouble feeding him because he would refuse to leave her side. Couple days ago, he's begun courting her.
Oh my goodness!
Oh,
Did he
wow.
bring her like a pebble? That's what.
I mean, and listen, I want to make it clear
Penguins
for the
do.
audience because we don't have a picture. We'll throw a picture up
Yeah,
on
we'll
Facebook.
We should put
But
pictures of
even though her
everything.
color scheme is similar to a penguin, she looks like a woman. Like she's like not a woman, like a 12-year-old.
She looks like an anime girl.
An anime girl, yeah. She looks an anime girl, not a penguin.
Okay, so he's begun courting her. So this, of course, this is not only a story of true love, but it's also so tragic because he doesn't understand that she's not real. He doesn't understand that she will never reproduce or reciprocate his feelings.
It is a modern day. What's that called?
I was gonna say, the word flew out of my head.
It's that Greek myth, the something's kiss, the whatever.
Greek myth.
Yeah, I'll remember it. I'll remember in a second. Go on.
No, that's basically about it. I mean, what else is there about to say? Like
Unrequited
how
between a penguin
Unrequited. Yeah,
and
that's what I was looking for.
and this promotion
Anime
is
character.
ending at the end of June. So
Oh
the-
no! They better
Oh.
leave that.
Oh, no,
fucking
he's gonna
thing
kill
in there.
himself.
You know what? Maybe they should just get a female penguin and put like a wig on her.
No,
on
he's
her.
he's there with female penguins.
He doesn't
Oh.
care about that.
He doesn't care about any of them.
They should maybe
Oh,
put
dude,
a,
he's just like a real otaku, you know? You really get
Put
into
a real
anime
one in.
girl, and you're like, the 3D doesn't mean
3D,
anything to
it's
me
all about
anymore.
2D.
It's all about 2D.
Yeah, not only that, like he's in there with like 15 other penguins, and all of them doesn't care about that cardboard cutout. It's only him.
so there's something drawing him to the cardboard
Yeah.
cutout. What is it?
He used to be human.
Oh, reincarnated.
Dude, it's
And
Re-
specifically,
reincarnation?
he was an otaku.
He was an otaku human.
in scientific terms, probably he's smart enough to make the lines of the cardboard cutout into an actual like penguin image in his
He has
head.
a creativity then.
Yeah, but
Oh, wow.
he's not smart enough to understand it's not real.
I feel so bad for
Wow.
him.
By the way, the Greek myth was Pygmalion's kiss, right? It was basically a sculptor makes the most beautiful woman there ever was.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Right? And he doesn't want a real woman. He wants this sculpture, but he stays with her. He lives with her for years. Finally, the Greek goddess Aphrodite says, "Oh, you've proven your love, blah blah," and he makes her a real woman. But
Neat.
that's not
So
gonna happen
that
here.
That's
I
not
wonder
gonna
if
happen here,
that
though.
inspired Pinocchio.
I mean, I guess. I mean, there's like the Greek sexy version because he does.
Yeah.
He does.
I mean,
the-
he would have to fuck
Yeah,
it.
he
It's
fucks
Greek,
the sculpture.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
what? But there's no possible happy ending for this.
No, there's not. That's-
No.
I mean, there is one happy ending. Cosplay. if you could get a penguin to cosplay as Hululu, then I think we're set.
Well, that's what Courtney was saying.
I said
but-
put a wig on a penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I think he'll know the difference.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
She's 3D. That's not what he wants.
No. His imagination of what she is better than any of the penguins in the pen, basically.
Yeah, man. He's got her on a pedestal.
Maybe he doesn't
Well,
like.
you know what? But then that's going to be a doomed relationship right there. No one wins if you're on a pedestal.
Yeah, he's got to learn to settle a little bit. you know?
Yeah.
You got to bring down his
Maybe he doesn't like
expectations.
penguins. He doesn't like penguins. He's dated all the penguins in pen and is like, I
All,
don't like
the,
them.
all the penguins, all the
Or
girl
he
penguins
gave
are
up on
bitches
them.
to him. So
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
just, you know what?
Oh.
Screw y'all.
So he's,
You don't. They don't get his interest.
yeah, they're
You
dating.
don't
So
understand
he's gonna
me.
date outside his race. So that's
Exactly.
perfect.
Why don't they just like give him the cutout? Just take it out of the little stand thing it's in and just here you go,
Can you
man.
imagine like
They might
waddling
actually do that.
around with like
He
the?
can walk up next to the cutout.
Oh,
He does
goes
walk
up
next to the
it.
cutout. He just basically sits next to the cutout the entire day.
He's got to be in that anime now.
You're right, Tim.
Dude.
This is a good love story.
No.
This is the greatest love story, the most pure love story.
I know people
ever.
love penguins. Penguins are just so lovable.
I really hope this is blowing up on the anime forums on Reddit. Just like he gets it.
He gets it. This guy gets it.
There is a lot of fan art. I do.
Okay.
I would
Oh.
imagine.
And memes. This guy
Yeah.
gets it.
By the way, I just imagine him being like one of those, those people who are just like, I was born in the wrong generation.
Yeah,
He's
I was
like,
born in the wrong time.
I was born in the wrong species.
Also the wrong dimension.
Yeah.
The wrong-
Man.
Oh
Penguin
man.
love.
Here we are to Ken's corner. Are
Yeah,
we gonna call it that?
Ken, you're really pushing for that. If you want to call it
Ken's
that,
real
you
life,
can.
something.
But,
So-
I mean,
someone-
it's a story,
some-
man. We're just all telling
someone-
stories.
I mean, yeah, we can all.
But here's the
that.
thing: my story has to be real. So that's always interesting.
Whatever makes you happy, Ken.
No, that's what makes you happy, dude.
No, I'm literally.
Let's have this conversation later. Let's like hear
tell a
Ken's
story.
story.
Oh yeah. If anyone has known me for a while, I spend a lot of my time complaining about my past relationships. Probably because a lot of those past relationships, a lot of them turn out pretty badly. That's why I'm single now, not married,
I mean, most
no kids.
people's past
yeah,
relationships.
Yeah.
Everything ends.
I mean,
If they-
everything falls apart.
If they
The center
That's a,
were,
cannot
good,
hold.
that's a good outlook on life.
if they were not bad, then you'd still be in them, right? So
But probably my favorite one though.
I don't know, man. I mean,
your
usually
favorite bad
My
relationship.
favorite bad relationship is probably this. I remember it was summer class and summer class at college is always really bad. There's never anybody there.
Yeah.
All the cute girls are gone. It's
'Cause they're at
only
the
like
beach.
there's only like 10 people in every class. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go get my books and stuff like that. I run into one of my friends who's been living there all summer, and she's like, oh, you gotta meet one of my other friends. So her other friend is like standing behind her. She's barely like she's barely like 5 feet tall. Like
So she's hiding.
she's like, no, she's not hiding.
Hey.
She's just really small. Like she's only like 5 feet tall. So she comes out almost like a pet. Hey, come out! And she
Nice.
pops right out. I was like, oh, hi.
She was
How are
hiding.
you? And she looks literally like an anime character. Like she has big glasses. She has like kind of like a bow haircut, kind of. So or kind of like a bob. And she just really kind of animated kind of person. So she has a lot of interests. She's really smart. She's really artistic. And then we just kind of like hit it off the first week we known each other. So we just started hanging out together a lot. And at this time, she was living with my friend who introduced us. She was living at our apartment because she was subleasing her place. And one day she decided, hey, you know what? Since we hang out together all the time, like we have lunch and dinner together, we meet each other after class.
Well, it's a romantic friendship.
Yeah. Why don't I just move to your apartment? I was subleasing a place for a while, but there was nobody there.
I
so
would
I'm
already
like,
kind of have red flags right there.
That
So she's
is
like- so she
pretty
mo-
forward.
Yeah.
so she moves in. I asked my friend, is it okay if your friend moves in with me? And she's like, yeah, it's fine.
Dude, your
How
friend
long-
is setting you up to fall. Like she knows something's
How
wrong.
long
She's
were you
just like-
guys hanging out?
We were hanging out
Before
for,
she
I
moved
think
in.
we were hanging out for a good, like, 2 weeks. And then she
2
moved
weeks,
in.
and then she wants to.
She moved in.
She didn't want to. She did. I mean, she wanted
She
to
moved
also.
in, and it was all cool and stuff. Except,
as it always is. at
yeah,
first.
it was really cool until this one night, like maybe like a week into it, she falls asleep on my bed because there's 2 beds in the house, one for me and one for her. She usually sleeps in the other room. We have a strictly,
right. The one for her.
That's how it works.
strictly platonic
You
relationships.
You have a room, and I also have a room.
Yeah.
You sleep in your room, and I
Yeah,
sleep in
so
mine.
she falls asleep on my bed, and I'm like, I'm so tired. I have a class at 8 in the morning. So I'm thinking, hey, I don't want to be a pervert. I'm gonna sleep on the floor. But
Why didn't you go sleep in
Man,
her
well,
bed?
yeah.
There was a second bed.
I didn't think that through. See, that's the problem.
Ken was
Isn't
real.
that
Listen,
also perverted in a way?
Huh?
That's also
to sleep
could
in
be-
her room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would that be
Kind
perverted?
of. I don't know.
Because you can smell her, I guess. Or
Whoa.
I don't know.
What?
Listen, now it's
scent?
perverted.
Now
I
it
don't-
is,
I don't-
exactly.
Well, I no, I'm saying I can't imagine any other reason to call it perverted other than that. That's the only.
I
thing
was
can-
just thinking
But to
Ken
smell someone is not
It's also
perverted.
just a personal space. You don't want to go in there if you don't want to ask.
Yeah, so
Well, she did.
Well, that doesn't mean you can
Yeah,
do
I know.
this
2
yourself.
wrongs don't make it right. That's
Yeah.
true. I was actually just thinking Ken really understands the fundamental laws of a bedroom, and he's like, "Well, this is my bedroom, so I gotta fucking sleep in here." But where do I sleep? Not on the bed. This bitch is in.
I ended up sleeping on the floor, and it got really cold that night. It was like 45 degrees. I was cuddled up in a circle, and I was mumbling something evil underneath my breath.
Like you
And then-
do.
So I'm like thinking, hey, it's really cold, but at least I want a pillow. So I'm trying to get another pillow on my bed that she's not on at the moment. So I'm like pulling it away. I'm like, I'm doing good. And she's like the lightest sleeper ever. Like the lightest sleeper. Like if I get up to go pee in the middle of the night, she will wake up. I will be in the other room and she will wake up. And then she'll mumble some weird thing like, robbers. Something like that. So she wakes up, she looks over, she's half asleep, she looks at me, she rubs her eyes. She goes, hey, have you been sleeping there the whole night? I'm like, yeah, you took my bed. And then she's like, hey, it's fine. We're just friends anyway. Why don't you come in on the bed? Take some of the sheets. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. Nothing wrong with that.
Just come on in.
Just come on in. So I'm like, come on in. And then I like go in there. I look at her. She looks at me. I was like, good night. All good, right? All platonic. Nothing too
Okay.
bad. Until
Of course, it's platonic. Until
like 90 seconds later, she's like, Ken? I'm like, hey, what? And then she just
bang.
No banging. This is actually sweet.
Oh.
She pecks me on the lip, and she's like, and then she stops, and then she does it like several more times until we're like full-fledged making out.
Yeah.
Okay, all good and all, and then she starts laughing. Never a good sign when you're a guy when a girl starts laughing in the middle of like you doing stuff.
have a
And-
little sense of humor. Things can
Yeah,
be
yeah.
funny.
So she's, but I didn't say anything funny. So she laughs, and I'm like,
I mean, the situation itself
Yeah,
is
yeah.
kind of
She's-
funny.
I'm like, hey, what's up? Why are you laughing? Am I like doing something wrong? It's like, no, I'm just thinking. When I first met you, I was thinking, hey, you're gonna be trouble, and I know it. And I'm just thinking, I'll tell you that now that you're trouble.
When you said that, Taylor Swift song came into my head.
This was, but that was before Taylor Swift.
I
So
know,
I'm like,
but the
I'm like
connection-
trouble.
Listen, man, Ken, you're not trouble.
You're not trouble.
She
Appar-
slept in your bed.
Yeah.
She's the trouble.
She was, yeah. It took me a couple of years later. I was like, wait, she's the one that was trouble, because after that it became really complicated. Like we were boyfriend and girlfriend to everybody.
Except to each other.
No, except for one person. To this one person, they were not boyfriend and girlfriend. The reason being that because this guy was in another country like all summer.
Are you basically saying she had a boyfriend somewhere?
Yeah,
else?
she had a
Okay.
yeah, she had a boyfriend.
She had a boyfriend. You were being really vague. And
Yeah, I was
confused.
like, what? I was like, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
Ken.
That guy was not there all summer, and then
Yeah.
she got herself a summer boyfriend.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
went out together pretty.
I'm pretty much in drive for this whole thing. I'm fine with it. Everything so far.
So I find out about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, you gotta eject. You can't get, dude. You already have like,
fundamental difference.
Dude,
between
you
me and
already
you
have,
guys.
like-
That's the fundamental difference between Noosh and fucking humans.
I'm like, you already have two guys after you that want to kill you for like dating their girlfriend. I have a history of that. So I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna do?
She lives there now.
She lives there now, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep it cool. She's
You're
really
in
cool.
a-
We're just going out on dates
You're in a
and
bit
stuff.
of a pickle.
The pickle
The
is
pickle's
that
for his
I
room.
tried to cut myself off from it. I tried to cut myself off. I was like, dude, I gotta eject. I gotta remove myself like a Band-Aid on a wound quickly.
Yeah.
Until every time she would drive me home, she would be like, Ken, and she'll go out our car door. She'll open it. Can you give me a hug? I'm like, oh, sure. And then I'll hug her, and then she'll grab my face and start making out. And I'm thinking at this point, I'm 19, and I was like, this is the greatest relationship of my life. This is
yes,
perfect. This
man.
is great, man.
This is everything I've ever wanted.
I'm not trying at all. The girl likes me. I kind of like her. So it's
and the
all,
best part is this: you know there's
Yeah.
gonna be an end date. Whenever this guy
God,
comes
Noosh,
back, you don't
need
even have to make up
I know.
an end date.
There's gonna
Noosh,
be
you
an
need
ending.
so much therapy.
By the way, I was gonna tell you, like when you said the whole thing where, well, I mean, if it was good, you'd still be in it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be over. I'm like, well, actually, I've been in a pretty couple of good things, and they are over because I make them over.
yeah, but that's the thing. Then they're not good to you.
Yeah. Well,
So it was actually pretty good for like 2 or 3 months. I'm like, oh, good. I really like this girl. And then I kind of changed totally. Like I used to be just sweatpants guy, and then I started dressing up.
you became K-pop guy because of her?
Yeah, I turned into K-pop guy because
she
of her.
made you.
I had really nice shoes after a while, and then
Oh man.
and then came September. You know, when summer ends,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so does your dreams. And her boyfriend
I was
comes.
born in September. I
Her
guess that's
boyfriend
also
comes
true.
back from Taiwan and gives me every time he sees me gives me the dirtiest look on campus. And I'm like, well, this is
Wait, Ken,
this-
is she still living with you?
right now?
No, I mean when
In that
when he
story.
came back.
No, when he came back, she left the apartment. That's how I know he came
Very
back.
convenient.
God, what a
She
hoe.
disappeared, and I used to work at the bookstore at the university. And every time you get textbooks, you have to run by my section because I worked in the back where the textbooks were. I once saw this girl after her boyfriend came back walk through the store, took some back way to like avoid me and walk and to get her books. And at that point, I'm pretty sure it was over.
She didn't even say anything to you. She was just,
No, we didn't. We stopped
God,
talking
what a-
like right after.
Listen,
So-
Noosh is really romanticizing this, and he's
Yeah.
really into her.
This is his
but listen,
perfect
that is-
relationship right
I
there.
wish is a bitch. I see it. That
And
way.
I'm like thinking in my head, could I have played this like in a different way where it wouldn't have ended up with me
No.
feeling like shit?
Yeah, there's a different way you could have played it, but you know,
Noosh.
I'm not gonna say.
Noosh, what do you do?
I mean, you should have done, honestly, you should have done the romantic friendship thing and smashed. I'm just saying.
Noosh, I did try to do that.
But that's going beyond getting smashed. That you're going into friends with benefits if you were to
Yeah,
do something
yeah, yeah.
like that.
I know. I'm really.
Listen,
I'm really
all
pushing for that.
you know what I heard through this whole story? Some girl that he just met is like, "Hey, I'm cute and you're into me. Let me move into your place. And he's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oops, I fell asleep in your bed. Oops, why don't you just sleep on the bed with me? Oops, now we're making out. Oops, I have a boyfriend.
She just wanted to stay
Oops,
longer.
now I'm ghosting you. Nah, man, she's just manipulating. That's awful.
That is awful.
That's awful.
I mean, it's.
I mean, Noosh is into it because
I'm
someone
into it.
made out with someone. Good.
Thanks a lot, douche.
I'm all for that, dude. I really support your choices in life, Ken.
What choice? That was a terrible choice. You should have told me
Well.
it's a bad choice, Ken.
Unless Ken did a background check
I
on the
really-
girl before
I
he started
really
going
am the
out for
devil
her.
on the
There's
shoulder.
nothing really he could have done to avoid it. And the only choice he had was whether he wanted to fight for her after his boyfriend came back. But
Or to
obviously-
get out. Which
Yeah.
Or
he
he
told
did get
himself he would do, and he didn't.
He did get out, didn't he?
No, she ghosted.
She ghosted him. Or me.
You're like pushing it
Kenny,
so
the third
far.
story.
Yeah, you're like you want to distance yourself from this
So
story so you don't
disconnected.
feel it. Yeah.
and by
Third-person
the way, this is
narrative.
not like a good sign. Like I already have it in the back of my head that I've dated girls that have boyfriends, fiancés, and like ex-husbands. Okay.
Maybe
Well,
you should change your
ex-husbands, whatever.
pattern. here.
Again.
Yeah, dude, you gotta stop going for
The
for
unattainable.
hoes with
No.
with dudes.
I ran with a tagline for a while, like right after college, that I have more Marines after me than most countries. Because when they go to another country, their lady starts going for me. It's very hard. Yes, and
You guys
such
have
a
the
good
best
job.
problems. You have
Such
the
a
best
good
problems.
job. Such a good job to do that.
It is.
Now that makes me sound like a sleazebag.
No, it just makes you sound more like me.
yeah,
No.
so a sleazebag.
I think,
No, the girl-
I think a romantic friendship is starting to brew between you two.
I don't cheat on Ryan ever with
Yeah,
anybody.
oh,
I think you can have more than
now
one.
all of a sudden you're monogamous and you care about other
Actually,
people's feelings.
It's really weird in a way that the only person I am monogamous with is Ryan. Like I'm very protective of that relationship.
Wait, but I think you could have more than one romantic friendship, don't you think? Or do you think that is a
I'm
monogamous?
traditional. I'm traditional. I like to. It's one bro only.
Even in that historical context, I don't think there's more people with more than one romantic friendships.
Yeah, I don't think
Really?
so. It's the whole
yeah.
thing is like, oh,
You're-
that's my best friend, my
Yeah.
whatever.
They're soulmates.
person.
They're
It's-
soulmates.
Yeah, I
It's
guess.
basically
okay.
he's the body pillow before body pillows were invented.
No.
Don't want to go
By the
with
way,
that
one-
analogy.
Body pillows get they enter a different realm of.
By the way, one more thing, guys.
Yeah.
We've dodged so many weeks without me saying Sarah Sahutsky on the air.
Is
Oh my
it Sarah
God.
Zahutsky?
No, it wasn't Sarah. I
Oh.
wish.
Dude, if
I
I was
wish.
Sarah Sahutsky, I'd be like, you're a mess. You can't still be pining for that.
No, actually, I am
Sarah Sahutsky is Ken's.
unattainable
The one that got away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I was stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really because I was stupid.
you were. I was telling you the whole time to do bad things.
To her?
No. Just in general about your life choices.
You tell everyone always to
I
do
do.
bad things.
I do.
You're the worst person.
No, I'm the worst. I'm a great friend though. I'm the worst person.
No, you're a great friend in your own mind.
Yeah. By the way, do you guys notice, by the way, that in a weird way, not a lot of, only just Tim. I was gonna say this whole episode had like some anime romance vibe going, but I realized it's just Tim's story. Everybody else was just other romances.
Yeah.
Animal, human,
Human.
brothers,
Brother.
bros.
Vassar.
The
Okay.
beginning of romances.
Here's my story. So I'm gonna tell. I came with two just in case, but this one.
Which one are you doing? The long one or the?
The long one. Here we go. So, and I think it fits into what we.
Everyone
about.
gave each other knowing glances.
Oh,
News
I'm
jokes.
so glad that this is the end of the season. I won't have to see any of you for the whole summer. So,
Wow.
this is the story of
All about how.
Pocky-san. This is the story of Pocky-san. So, by the way, I want you to know this. I found this story randomly on Reddit, and it was told by somebody who no longer uses Reddit. So, it's one of those things where basically imagine this. If you're like some young woman who works for a company in Ohio, you went to school in Ohio, whatever, and you suddenly hear your friend say, yeah, dude, I was listening to this podcast from like California or somewhere, I guess, and some guys were talking about you and some story about you and somebody named Pocky-san. And she's like, what? Somebody told that story? Because I think from this person's perspective, they just put the story out there and they just thought nobody heard it. Well, I
So
heard
if
it,
you're
baby.
listening, please contact us and let us know.
Oh
what
my
you
gosh,
think.
more than you would know. I would love to know.
Guess for season 3?
I would love to hear from her. But basically just, yeah, that's right. I was listening, baby. I was listening. So, okay,
Well, now she's definitely not going to contact us.
Ignore Noosh, but contact Ryan, myself, or Ken.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk
I mean,
to you.
considering that this story is about a weird stalker, I think she definitely would not want to contact me after I just said that.
Yeah.
So I said, ignore Noosh. Contact any of the other three.
So anyway, there's a subreddit, dude, called Weeaboo Tales. Let's start off with that.
Oh.
There's a subreddit called Weeaboo Tales. Basically,
Also, hold on. Before we get into that, explain.
I'm gonna define it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
Yeah.
what the hell is that?
Basically, though, okay, what the subreddit is it's a place where anime, manga, those kinds of fans, and also just like normal everyday people who are not into that, they go onto that subreddit to complain about a type of fan called a weeaboo. And what a weeaboo is basically, you guys have all seen it. You know those anime fans that are really, really loud and annoying, and they wear like Naruto headbands, or they're like really
Also, when
socially.
they
They
do
put their hands behind them in a V. They're really socially awkward, and
Okay.
for example, actually, I have a term for them from high school, but it wasn't weeaboo. This is before weeaboo, because when I was in high school, there was no internet for weeaboo to happen. Well, internet was new.
Yeah.
But the term we had was the term crumbum. We referred to them. They hung out in the 100 quads, and they all wore like DBZ stuff. Sometimes they fought each other.
Okay.
And it was
they're
really
just the people who are like painfully socially awkward. Like when you see them interact, you're just like, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I hate you or feel bad for you. It's,
In my school, people actually, those of us who were not crumbums, we would actually, whenever we knew they were having fights over there, they're like, they're anime fights, we would actually go bet money on them. Like, we were just,
Nice.
by the way, credit to OJ. I forgot OJ's last name. Good friend of mine, OJ, of course. He's a good friend of mine. He coined the term crumbum,
Crumbum.
and it became popular. But anyway, whether you want to call them crumbums or weeaboos, which is the internet term, that's exactly who they are, right? So most of the stories on this subreddit are brief and anecdotal, but I found this story, and I was like, wow, it's like an epic tale of crumbummery. So the storyteller's name, her name is, okay, I don't know her real name. She has a real name, but her Reddit name is Shorvath, okay? So I'm going to keep referring to this young woman as Shorvath, but...
Wait, if she deleted her Reddit, how do you know what her handle was?
Well, okay, because she didn't delete it. She disappeared from Reddit, but her...
she just hasn't been back on.
Technically speaking, her Reddit username,
It's still active.
it was shadow banned. Shadow banned means all your content's still up, but you'll never be able to find that person.
Oh.
We don't know the story. Anyway,
Why was? Oh, we don't know why.
we don't know why. So Shorvath is the young woman's name, okay? So all names in the story are
Fake.
changed. All names in the story are changed. She changed all of them. So she's a college girl. She goes to a famous university, I guess, somewhere. And by the way she talks and the way she tells her stories, I really feel like she's got to be Midwest. I don't know. Just I get a Midwest vibe from her, but she could be West Coast also, possibly. But anyway, I want to say this
not
though.
the East Coast.
No, she's not East Coast. I definitely want to say this. She has a very unique sense of humor, and the way I'm gonna tell you some of her quotes. There's a reason she got a following on the Weeaboo Tales subreddit. It's because she says things in a very funny way. Like, she has a very good sense of humor. It's a very visual and succinct way of describing things. Anyway, at our university, there's a study abroad preview program where you can take a certain number of credits in culture and language for different countries, and if you do complete that preview course, the school pays for you to go spend a week in that country.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty good thing. And obviously, as you can imagine, the Japan track attracts a lot of weeaboos. A lot of weeaboos. And we're talking again, like people with Naruto headbands, screeching voices, and they speak English on purpose. Like, not because they have an accent or they have, they're learning English.
What's a good analogy for a weeaboo for someone who has no insight into that sort of culture? It's like the anime version of a wigga, like of like.
Oh my gosh,
white
it is.
guy-
It's
yeah.
so true.
It's like a white guy who tries really hard to be
Yes.
something he isn't.
I've never heard it said so well. That is exactly what a weeaboo is.
Dude, someone should coin that term. You should coin that term right now.
Well,
What's,
there's no term. It's
Just the definition.
An analogy.
I'll go on Urban Dictionary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
I'll update it.
So yeah, a weeaboo is basically a wigga, but for anime fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Shorvath, though, she's interested in Japanese culture, like history and language, that sort of thing. She actually took some
you poor
Japan
girl.
courses. But admittedly, though, she does admit that she has watched some anime in the past. But like, she's
I mean,
not,
that doesn't make you
a weeaboo. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely that is the case. I mean, there's actually anime fans on here complaining about weeaboos. So she's an anime fan, but she's mostly interested in history and culture. So she takes these courses. And this is when she meets somebody that she refers to as Paki-san. I'll tell you why she calls him Paki-san, but basically that's not his real name, obviously. But she describes Paki-san as Paki-san was a ham beast, maybe bigger than a ham beast. And she calls him that because he always brings a box of Pocky to class and eats the whole thing obnoxiously during class. He also demands that everyone refer to him by his last name and the suffix, the Japanese suffix, san. So basically, he has like a last name, and san is how he wants to be called. But in this story, she refers to him as Paki-san to like basically create that analogy.
I hope he's like just some fat white kid, and his last name is like Smith.
Does this end with her falling in love with him?
No, come on, man! It's a story. You don't ask me the story in the beginning.
I'm just wondering how much I'm gonna need to cringe in this story.
Oh, you're gonna cringe a
Oh,
lot.
you're cringing.
Oh, God.
He's already cringing.
Oh, my gosh.
These are news stories.
Tim, I need no. Tim's gonna cringe because he's met people like this, so you can imagine it. Okay, so by the way, he doesn't seem to shower or brush his teeth, and a few times he's worn a fedora.
Oh God.
So he's got that going.
So we all met that guy.
Yeah. So this is how it begins. One day,
Milady.
you're on the money. One day, Paki-san sits next to her in class, and she's being friendly. She introduces herself to him, and he loudly replies, "Shorvath-chan, kawaii ne."
What?
Dude, Tim is squirming. He's so uncomfortable right now.
I mean, for anybody who doesn't know, that basically means like Shorvath-chan is cute, and chan is like a Japanese suffix that's like a cute suffix for like a girl. So he's saying like she's really cute, but he's saying it in the most shitty way. Even a Japanese person would be like, "That's not how we talk."
Jesus.
She makes a foolish mistake of mentioning that she's currently watching the popular anime show Madoka Magica, and his eyes light up, and she tries really hard to talk anime with her. And this goes on for a few days like that, where he just every day sits next to her and tries to talk about anime with her, even though she's not feeling it.
He saw an opening, man.
yeah.
You shouldn't have done it.
She
should have ignored him like everyone else.
It was her mistake. By the way, she does mention, though, that the whole class was full of people like that. Like, it's hard for her to make other friends in class because there's really nobody else. So eventually, he starts getting really weird, and he starts referring to her as Ojo-sama and Shorvath Hime. Tim, just, I love...
Tim just passed out.
Yeah.
If you guys
done.
can't see it, but he's gone. He's gone.
Done.
He's done.
By the way, those terms mean like princess Shorvath.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's referring to her as princess or my lady. He claims to be her loyal samurai.
Oh my God.
What is happening, dude?
Oh wow.
And he keeps making these comments that makes her really uncomfortable because he's just like, she would look kawaii in a summer yukata, or she's like a beautiful princess in a fine kimono.
Who's he saying these things to?
To like a white girl.
No, I mean like
To her.
Oh,
the
he's
author.
her.
You're,
Saying to
yeah,
the
yeah.
author.
He's
I
talking to
heard.
her.
No. I know.
Yeah.
I misunderstood the way you said she keeps getting uncomfortable because he keeps making these comments. She would look great, whatever. And I thought that was like a quote that he was saying.
That is a quote she's saying.
No.
But
She's
he's-
saying.
Oh, yeah,
I was thinking he was saying she would look
Right.
cute, and I'm like, why is he referring to her like that? Who is he talking to? Never mind. It was my
Yeah,
mistake.
so he's making those comments
He's
to
saying
her.
those things to her.
Right, and she's
like,
uncomfortable.
you'd look so cute in
And
this.
it's weird because she's, like I said, she's like a white girl who just wants to learn Japanese language and like some history, and she's just like,
Bullshit.
what the fuck? What?
She's not in there. She's not in there for that. But anyways, go for it.
Tim, I just want you to know, man, I was in the Asian Studies program at the school. I'm an Asian minor, actually, and the majority of the people in those courses were just in it for, like, the history, the culture, language courses. Like, I mean, even the Asian pop course, like, most people were there for K-pop, not for anime. So, I'm just saying, like, it is...
Because it's what's hot at the moment.
Right.
Because I remember taking, like, an intro to Japanese class in college, and I couldn't stay in there because everybody was just... They acted like that. They acted like that. Like,
Yeah.
majority of the class just acted like that.
And
It's
so
like,
did I took those courses too, and there was half the class was like that, really annoying,
Yeah.
overly flamboyant
Yeah.
in terms of they thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Okay?
It really ruins it.
The other half of the class was interested in those type of topics, in whether culture-wise, history-wise, whatever, but they wouldn't outwardly express it. They would just try to act normal, which is the correct social behavior you should be taking.
Yeah.
You should not act in a way that makes everyone around you cringe.
Yeah. Especially Tim.
Should
might
act like
die.
a caricature.
Tim might die of cringe by the end of this episode. Okay, so she's just like really weird. Like, why is he saying this to me? Like, I'm not even Japanese. I don't wear yukatas. So, and also he keeps trying to touch her hair.
Oh my
And
god!
she keeps
Oh.
like swatting his hand away and saying, "Stop it! That's really weird." But he just like laughs it off and does it again the next
Oh
day.
my god.
So he's really weird. And by the way, he also got her phone number from a classmate and constantly tries to like call her and text her.
This is why you
So-
don't give numbers out.
Yeah. So here I got 4 stories to tell you. So here's story 1, which she refers to as the mother of all creeps. One day she was taking a shower in her apartment,
Oh my god.
and when she walked into the living room in a towel, she finds Pocky-san waiting for her.
That is creepy.
that's
oh
scary.
my god.
And you know what this guy does? You guys know that like anime like pervert joke where like blood comes out of the
Yeah.
nose? They make like a face and like that's like a joke in like anime like hentai ecchi where like blood comes out of the
Yeah.
nose when you see like a hot girl.
It's so sexy that
It's
blood
so sexy.
comes out of your nose.
Yeah, I don't know,
That's
it's like a
thing.
trope.
Yeah.
He tries to make that face, but instead of making that face, the best he can do is make this face. This is what he does. This is the face he makes.
Oh,
That's
a
like
creep-
the reference that she gave.
Yeah. That's Shorvat posted that picture to give an idea of what his face actually looked like. But you can imagine somebody making
How
that
the
face.
fuck are you in her apartment, dude?
Yeah,
So
that's
as it turns out, her roommate, who Shorvath refers to as Roommate Chan, because she's just following the theme of this story. Roommate Chan lets him in, thinking it'll be funny.
yeah, not funny.
Yeah.
No, I'm moving
Not-
out.
not
I'm moving
funny.
out. That's creepy.
So Pocky-san, after making this creepy ass face with her in a towel, takes out a lightsaber and he says to pretend it's a samurai sword, and then he swears his undying loyalty to her and asks her on a date.
Yeah.
And
no.
she immediately refuses him and asks him to get the fuck out of her apartment.
As she should.
And then as he's leaving, he swears. By the way, he doesn't leave at first. She has to really tell him, "Please get the fuck out of my apartment."
Yeah.
But he swears as he's leaving that one day he'll win her heart.
Oh my god.
And as the story goes, she says this is the beginning of many tales of this sort of thing. So story 2, what she calls Pocky-san goes to battle. So one day, Pocky-san takes some classes on being a pickup artist.
oh my god.
So he starts doing this thing where he pushes up his glasses to his face like an anime character. I mean, if you've seen an anime, you know what I'm talking about. Like that kind of like shadowy eyed. Yeah, it's that. It's like that badass. Like you use your middle finger and you push it up to your
Slowly.
face slowly. He starts doing that, and then he says backhanded compliments to her, like "You were probably cute in high school." And he also says
All of a sudden he's negging her.
he's negging her. He's like, I bet you can run really far. Your thighs are like tree trunks."
Oh my god.
But
Wow.
then Shorvath doesn't really give him the time of day, so he just kind of gives up on that. Goes back to his usual Hime-sama shit. One day in class, Pocky-san misses class, and so as a result, this one guy in class named John sits next to Shorvath. John, she didn't meet him before, but John is the only other like
Normal person?
Yeah, normal person, not a weeaboo in
Normie.
class. So John sits next to her. They chat. They go get coffee together after class. They exchange texts all night. Like she's like really feeling him. He's feeling her.
Well,
And
I mean,
After that.
in a desert, you
Yeah.
know, like
they both have the common annoyance also of they have weeb classmates, so they're like complaining about their classmates. So she really starts to fall for this guy.
she's like, oh my god, another normal person. I want it so
Yeah.
bad.
So he sits next to her in class again next time, but this time
He's there.
Pocky-san shows
Oh
up to
my
class.
God.
He's sitting basically in Pocky-san's seat, quote unquote, ever since Pocky
Does he
started.
take a glove and go up to John and I challenge you to a duel and slaps him across the face?
That's not nearly Japanese enough.
But you're on the right track. I'm going to tell you quote for quote exactly what's said. Pocky-san walks up to them, and Pocky-san says, by the way, all of Pocky-san's dialogue is in all caps, as he speaks in all caps. He says, "What are you doings?"
Oh my god.
John says, "What?" Pocky-san says, "Is he hurting you, Ojo-sama? Does his presence bother you?" And John is like, he looks at Shorvath, and he's like, is this the guy you were telling me about? And then he didn't get to finish that because then Paki-san says, shut up, baka! And he says that, and this is exactly what Shorvath describes as happening next. I can only tell you her words because I can't do it better than her. She says, the weeb then swings his fist and hits John on the back of the head. I don't know how to communicate how painful this looked. Like I said in the last story, Paki-san is fatter than fuck, but he's strong. It was like a reverse Sharkeisha hit. Do you guys know the Sharkeisha hit?
Sharkeisha.
It was like a really painful.
Sharkeisha, no!
Sharkeisha, no. Dude, it was
Do you guys remember Sharkeisha?
I have no idea what you're referring to.
It was like a
Yeah.
World Star Hip Hop like super popular video where some girl she kicks him in the face. Or
She
kicks
two girls
some
are talking, and then one girl decks one girl so hard she's on the ground, and then she kicks her
Yeah,
too.
and then she's kicking her, and then
Yeah.
someone yells Sharkeisha, no.
Sharkeisha, no.
And that's why
But-
it's the Sharkeisha video.
But it was a reverse only because this time it wasn't the skinny girl hitting the fat girl, it was the other way
yeah.
around. But yeah, so the conversation continues. John says, man, what the fuck? And Paki-san says, you do not hurt my Hime. And John says, what the fuck are you talking about? Paki-san then pulls out a lightsaber, and the
Of course.
whole room is staring at Shorvath, who basically just dies a little inside. And
if she's white, she's probably like beat red, I would imagine.
And then Paki-san says, baka, 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 which means idiot, by the way. Baka, 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 baka. I challenge you to a duel.
Oh my God.
For I will always protect Ojo-sama, protect her with my body and my dignity. For I am her loyal samurai, never failing in my quest. I will hurt anyone who threatens her. And then at this point,
my.
John is just like, is this about your chair? And so he just gets up and he just goes back to his old seat. At which point, by the way, Shorvath is just like, I could have got laid. Like, I could have got laid. And so then...
I mean, she still could.
Well, I mean, she's pretty embarrassed at this point to even face this guy. Shorvath is embarrassed. Paki-san sits next to her and acts like nothing happened. Later, she just goes home. She just goes home because she's so embarrassed. And later, she finds out that John and Paki-san actually got into a fight outside of class for the sake of Shorvath's love. And John nails Paki-san in the mouth. He just decks him. Story 3. Paki-san, what Shorvath calls
great.
this, Paki-san, the anime club, and Basu Ketu Bolu. Basketball. So this is, by the way,
You got Ken rolling his stitches, and Tim is just cringing over there.
I think because they've experienced these kinds of people. Like if the more you've experienced people like this, the more like it's vivid in your mind. Like it's
Yeah.
so vivid. This is Shorvath's most embarrassing story, by the way. So, by the way, I just want you to know this. I noticed this trend when I'm reading her stories. I mean, she has a lot of listeners. She got popular. This was like 3 years ago. She got very popular. The more time Shorvath spends telling stories on the Weeaboo Tales subreddit, the more she starts making like Weeaboo references. I think she's doing it almost like ironically, but it's really like, Shorvath, you're kind of like talking like them a little bit. Because
Yeah.
she keeps saying things like Minasan, and Minasan means everyone. And she keeps saying like, Konbawa, Minasan. Like, I'm like, Shorvath, come on. But I guess she is learning Japanese language too. But all I'm saying is the more time you spend in that place, the more it gets inside of you a little bit. So Shorvath is a university cheerleader at her school. So Paki-san one day in class asks her, are you going to the game tonight? At which point she's immediately suspicious because he's never been into sports, ever. He's never
Yeah.
gone to watch her cheerlead. He's never been into that. So she's like, that's a weird thing to ask me all of a sudden.
I hope she
So-
lied. Lie. She needs to lie.
Well,
Of course she did.
Listen, she's bringing this shit on herself now.
Exactly.
If she doesn't just...
She needs to.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Well, he does know she's a cheerleader, though, so it was kind of one of those,
She
like...
can still lie.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I'd be
true.
like, no, I'm not going. But if you do go, I'm going to get a restraining order. I'm not fucking around anymore.
I mean, it felt like she could have ended this.
Yeah,
so
she could have
much
ended
earlier.
it really
exactly.
quick.
As
After
soon
the
as, listen,
apartment
as soon as I
break-in.
saw him in
The
my
apartment,
apartment,
yeah, that's over.
I would say, I swear to God, if you come within 500 feet of me again, I'm getting you arrested.
And
like, I can't.
in that incident in the
Actually-
classroom, I would have some pepper spray and spray that
There you
shit
go.
on him.
I would say this, actually, some people have brought this up. And this, by the way, I have some quotes from the subreddit itself, like commenters later, but some of them have even said, though, and because they're funny, some of them have even said, though, that, like, dude, like, I feel like this story's gonna end dark. Like, this guy is, like, obsessive. But she and it must be one of those context things where she kind of gets a vibe that maybe other people don't through text or me telling a story like this. But she keeps referring to him as a beloved stalker because she says she sees him as being harmless, like annoying and socially awkward and lame, but she's not threatened by him, I guess.
I think it's one of those
He
things
punched
of
a
where
dude because he couldn't sit next to her, and he broke into her apartment. I mean,
I think she's enjoying the flattery, but not
Maybe.
all that comes with it.
Yeah, it could be that.
Like maybe she hasn't had that many people telling her that she's.
I
I mean,
maybe
I know. Also,
But there's
is,
a point where that needs
there is
to
also
stop.
like, whenever you're in a situation, you always try to downplay it to yourself.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is some aspect to that, but dude, breaking into someone's house is
That's,
like
that's,
Yeah.
that's
just
another
red-
level of
Yeah.
like
That's a
it's not-
no-no.
Yeah.
She either likes the attention or she likes chain or dragging him along, basically.
Yeah.
That's true. Could be
Or
that.
she's lying about something.
Or it's fake.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever real on the internet.
No,
Reddit
the
now.
The fake option is actually pretty high, in that,
Mm-hmm.
especially on that subreddit where people like to make tales just because it's funny.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a creepy pasta. It didn't happen. It's a theory.
Well, we already like tore down the
I mean,
story.
I think we don't need to tell this story anymore. I think we're good, right? We're fine.
What happens, man? I want to see what happens.
So,
Still a funny story.
by the way, I love though that Tim did exactly what I expected Tim to do, which is analyze it and basically say everything you're doing on the show is worthless.
He literally said the fake possibility is very high.
So at the school,
I mean, this may or may not have happened, but
Mhm.
we don't know.
Still funny.
At the school, the cheerleaders do a halftime show during these games.
Yeah.
But also there's extra time, so clubs can sign up to do performances for the second part of the halftime
Oh my God.
show.
He does a lightsaber dance.
So, the cheerleaders at the school, so the cheerleaders did their performance for that game, which, by the way, this shows that I am significantly probably older than her, because I think I realized she must be, if this was 3 years ago, 20, 21, 19, in that range, because she says the cheerleaders, they shake it to a McMiller song. I don't know who that is. I looked them up. Some kind of rapper. The kids are into him, I guess.
I have
The
no-
youngins.
Yeah, yeah. And also she did make a reference to like an anime that was like in the 2008, 2007 era, let's say.
Uh-huh.
And she said she referred to herself as old as shit because she knows that reference. And I'm like, yeah, she's young because I was like 19 when I was in 2008. So anyway, she's probably like 20, 21. Anyway, so the cheerleaders return to the bleachers. Then the anime club suddenly runs out to the floor to do a performance, including Paki-san. And this is Shorvath's quote. Shorvath says, "A deathly skinny girl, who she refers to as Club President San, with stringy brown hair, grabs the microphone from the announcer's stand, runs to the middle of the court, and lets out a very high-pitched, 'Mina-san, genku desu ka?' Which means, everyone, how are you? But I guess it's like a reference to an anime also.
Okay.
I don't know the anime, but it was a reference, I guess. But you guys can imagine how annoyingly she must
Yeah,
have said it,
sure.
though. I hope so, because I can hear it in my head. Suddenly, the music starts to play, and I want to segue really quick into a sidebar. I want to say this, okay, really quick. This is important to me. One of my favorite animes, actually, is Haruhi Suzumiya. I've read the books. I haven't finished the books, unfortunately, so I don't know how it ends, but I read the books. I've watched the anime. It's a good sci-fi story. It's a lot of like really deep characters, really interesting stuff, good stuff, right? I want to say that the song at the end of the Haruhi show fucking killed so much credibility for that show, like so much, because the anime weebs like really latched onto it because it was a catchy song and dance. I mean, admittedly, but it is
but then
also
a lot of fat white dudes were doing
lot
that
of
dance.
a lot of fat white dudes got into that dance.
Oh.
And I mean, you have to imagine it's like a really like almost like a coming of age hard sci-fi type of a show, and it has this.
It's like Stranger Things
it's like there you go,
Yeah.
anime.
anime
Okay.
version of Stranger
Kind
Things,
of.
kind of. And then they had this random song and dance that just a lot
It's
of
like, you know what it is? It's like if you took Stranger Things and then at the end they just did like some really choreographed Spice Girls thing. Like all the characters were like,
and the
I mean-
shittiest people latched onto that song.
I mean, I was there when that became
You
popular.
introduced me to it, actually.
I was there when it became popular,
Yeah.
and the people who were committed cashed in early. The people who should not be doing anything related to that were catching it later.
Yeah.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah.
That's
So
yeah.
people, yeah.
It sounds kind of like at the end of Slumdog Millionaire, that
Yeah.
has nothing to do, and then they do the big
Yeah.
Bollywood number at the end,
It's
and then
exactly
you have
like
all
that.
these white people like, oh, Indian songs, woo!
I mean, to be fair, this isn't like a special thing for this one show. A lot of anime has like
Yeah.
a really weird,
Mhm.
dumb
song and dance.
song and dance at the
That's
end.
true. So anyway, the music starts to play, and they start doing the Haruhi Suzumiya dance. And they were all out of sync. They sang terribly. And so the whole audience, though, was really confused. I mean, you have to imagine that this audience is, like, predominantly white, probably.
Yeah.
Don't really know much about anime. And they're like, what is this? A lot of them said, what are they doing? And other people said, are they speaking Chinese? Shorvat's roommate...
Racists.
That's true. Shorvat's roommate said, Shorvat, isn't that the weird guy who stalks you? And Shorvat says, no, different weird guy. But she's lying because she's just glad that nobody knows about Paki-san,
Yeah.
like, aside from her roommate. And so at this point, the club...
Oh, so she's trying to keep it
down low. So, by the way, so towards the end of the song and dance, the club president hands the mic to Paki-san, who shouts, Shorvat Hime, Daisuke, come share this dance with me, Ojo-sama, your loyal warrior, Paki-san.
Oh my god.
Daisuke means I love you, or I love you, or I like you. So he's like confessing to her and saying, come share this dance with me. And Shorvath dies a little inside again.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Everyone in the entire auditorium, the gym, is like staring at her. The anime club is like cheering Paki-san on, and Paki-san is grinning like he's the big man in town. And this is how she describes the whole thing. She says, the weebs stop cheering. Audience is clearly uncomfortable, and I'm just sitting here praying for death. As I'm not responding to Paki-san's invitation, he decides to lean into the bleachers and try to pull me by the arm down to join the fuckery. I scream no at the top of my lungs and try to yank away. Unfortunately for me, this fuck didn't know his own strength. I was sitting on the second row bleachers, and he yanks me hard by my arm. My foot gets caught on the first row of bleachers. I fall forward and land on my face.
Oh.
I took a pretty hard fall. I bit through my lower lip on the landing. So to recap, I'm laying on the basketball floor. About 500 people are staring at me, blood pouring out of my mouth, with Paki-san death gripping my arm and fucking beaming. The entire audience saw this, so Shorvat runs into the girl's bathroom and cries. And this quote, I'm going to tell you this quote and what the Redditors said about this. She's very funny. She says, I locked myself in the first stall and bawled like an eighth grade girl who caught her date to the middle school farewell, fingering Kimberly behind the school after the dance.
So that's the thing that really happened in your life.
And one Redditor says, too specific to have never happened.
Okay.
And then another Redditor says, I've never known a Kimberly that wasn't a whore. It probably happens a lot. Okay, moving on to story number 4.
Hold on. I already called doubt on this author. There's no way that wouldn't have been recorded and put on YouTube somewhere.
This is, I don't know, I guess that's true. And this is 3 years ago. Well, she told the story 3 years ago, so it could be, let's say, 4 years ago.
Yeah,
5
there's
years
no
ago.
way there's no form of assault here, dude. How's that guy
Also,
not
yeah,
arrested?
How did
Yeah.
nobody step in
Yeah.
when he's
Also,
grabbing
Hatori
her?
aired in 2001, I think, or something like that. So
Well, some people are still watching
Well,
it
this is
now.
not the same time as Hari. This
I
is,
know, but by that time, everyone had cell phones. People had video cameras.
He's
If
saying
this
when
happened,
Haruhi came out, there was already
Well, all,
YouTube and
all I found was this Reddit story. So, I
yeah,
mean,
but if this happened, there's 2 levels of cringe. That horrible dance and the pulling of the cheerleader into the bleachers and making her trip
Nobody
with the
stepped
blood.
in?
Nobody stepped
Well,
in.
no,
Nobody
people-
recorded anything. I
I imagine that she did
mention.
mention after the story, though, that while she's bawling in the stall, people were chewing him out, and he was, like, reported for that whole thing.
Okay.
Okay. How's he not arrested?
Well, I don't know.
There's too many factors in the story that makes it
Well,
seem like
Tim really doesn't want to believe
But
this is
I
true.
mean, at least for the social media aspect, if this happened in the early 2000s, like yes,
No,
YouTube
it didn't
is-
happen in the early
or-
2000s. Haruhi
but-
came out in, like, 2008.
And-
This story happened probably early 2010s.
Madoka
Like,
came like
Okay.
in 2005, by the way. So
Okay.
if that's happened,
but
then
she's telling the story. Oh, that's true. That's true. She said she's yeah, that's true. So when did Madoka Magica come out?
around 2005, I think.
Okay.
All right, but I mean, I still okay. So like that's early 2000s. I mean, yes, there was social media, but I don't think it was as prevalent
I mean,
then as
yeah,
it is now.
It wasn't
Smartphones
So-
weren't a
as-
thing also.
Yeah, not as. I mean,
Yeah.
with 2005, were we still using razors? You know,
was-
the
yeah,
Motorola flip phone?
actually,
I mean, I graduated 2005. What phone did I have? I had a. You know
Probably
what I had?
Motorola.
No, I had an LG whatever because it had like the best camera
So I mean,
available at the time, and it was still a flip
and,
phone.
Sorry, correction, 2011.
Oh.
Okay.
And Facebook didn't get into like its current form until like what 2007.
Everyone
like
has smartphones by 2011. This
2011,
story is
yeah.
bunk. This story is gone.
Tim really doesn't want to believe this is true. So going on, story
Yeah.
number 4. This story she calls, "If a weeb writes fiction and doesn't make the protagonist a Gary Stu self-insert, did he really ever write it at all?"
Okay.
A Gary Stu is the male version of a Mary Sue. Have you heard that phrase?
No.
A Mary Sue is when somebody writes like you write yourself into the story and you make yourself like the best version of that character. For example, the girl from what's that vampire Twilight?
Okay.
A lot of people said that's a Mary Sue version of the author because
Okay.
she's like the best, most lovely, awesome version of everything
Well,
the author.
Twilight's also a fan fiction from
Is it?
Harry Potter.
Yeah,
It's Harry
but
Potter,
isn't
yeah.
a Mary Sue essentially just a blank slate character that any female can put themselves
Yeah, you can
into?
put your face into
Well,
it.
right, but the whole idea
because
though
it's
is
so plain.
but they're the best version. Like the guys want them.
Yeah.
They're really smart. Like they have all these really good qualities.
Guys want her.
It's like a
girls
ro-
want
No,
a beer.
it's more along the guys want her even though she's herself.
She's crap.
Yeah.
She has nothing to offer
no
the world.
characteristics, nothing special about her. Just everyone wants her.
Well,
Yeah.
that is true. Of
That is
Twilight.
true. Yeah.
Any case, Gary Stu is the male version of that.
Okay.
So anyway,
Gary Stew.
so Shorvath decides to check out Pocky-san's fanfiction.net account.
Oh my god.
And she describes that it's full of the usual weeaboo fan fiction fodder. Also, there's some X-rated fan fictions about magical girls. You know, typically these are like little girl characters. And Shorvath has this quote that I think is pretty clever. By the way, I don't know if this is something the internet has said before. If it's like a popular quote, this is the first time I've heard this phrasing. But Shorvath, about this whole X-rated fan fictions about magical girls on his fan fiction page, she says, "Pro tip: women are like squaring numbers. If they're under 13, just do them in your head." I don't know if that's a
That's pretty good though.
famous
I
quote.
like it.
I cracked up at that. So Pocky-san asks her to read the first few chapters of his novel. She's hesitant, but she agrees because she thinks, well, it might be full of comedy gold at this point. So the story is called Real Potential. The protagonist was Pocky-san. He used his real name as the main character.
Nice.
The love interest in the story was named, quote, Shorhath. But Shorvath is calling it Shorhath in this version of her story,
Yeah.
but really it's that Pocky-san changed 2 letters of her real name.
We get it. Go for it.
Tim, there is a door if you really hate this story that much. So, in the story, Pocky-san is a student at a Japanese high school. One day,
As these things go.
the school is attacked by a time-traveling samurai.
As these things go.
And one of the quotes that she wrote, Shorvath, is, "Pocky-san, being the really cool guy he is hesitant to leave his high school popularity to team up with Shorhath, the shy girl on the tennis team." And she puts in like parentheses, tennis? "To save some kind of magical princess somewhere. Weeb vomit, weeb vomit, weeb vomit." Here are snippets from the novel that she picked out. One quote is, Pocky smirked objectively. This is, by the way, some bullies are picking on Pocky-san. So, Pocky smirked objectively. "If you really want to insult the culture of Nihon, you'll need to do better than that, bakas." Alan and his gang, obviously bested by Pocky, shirked away defeatedly. Next, Alan's gang was harassing Shorhath-chan. "Hey," from the background, Pocky-san walked towards Shorhath-chan, looking really cool against the sunset, and offered his hand chivalrously. Shorhath, like a fair flower, was bruised at the slightest insult by Alan and his gang, and was crying softly. She looked up at Pocky-san, and her eyes gleamed wetly. "Wow, I've never had a guy as cool as Pocky-san pay attention to me," Shorhath said, kawaiily.
Oh my god.
And here's my favorite. The next one is my favorite quote. Everybody on the Reddit was like, they fucking died at this moment. Like, I was also laughing quite a lot. My favorite quote is this. The dumb preppy bitch Cheyenne stood up. Hey, Pocky-san, picking on Alan is so not kawaii. Pocky turned around, smirked knowledgeably, and said, neither is your mom. The class fell silent. Cheyenne sat down embarrassingly.
There's a lot of smirking going on.
There's a lot of
Apparently,
adverbs here.
It's like, yeah, smirkingly.
A mom joke?
Smirchingly.
Your mom joke basically got her to shut up?
I think the funniest part, though, was just the dumb preppy bitch Cheyenne stood
The dumb
up.
preppy bitch. It's like some commentary right there by narration.
Shorvath points out, like, oh man, he's got some pent up stuff from high school. Clearly, it's too specific not to be true.
It's true.
Yeah, it's too specific.
Too specific to not have happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another quote. Shorvath, the Shorhath-chan says, "You're asking me out." Shorhath-chan said kawaiily. Of course, I'd love to go out on a dato with a man as amazing as you. You're totally sugoi. And the last one is when some time traveler asks him to become a samurai. Pocky says, a samurai? Pocky asked, looking at the mysterious figure misguidedly. I don't know. I've got a lot going for me here.
Jesus.
Oh, man.
I will end the story with this. Nope, because Shorvath promised more stories, and she said there's going to be a story in the future about the first time that she wound up getting glomped from behind, which is like a tackle hug, basically, from some anime witch cosplayer. But the thing was, we never got that. Shorhath suddenly disappeared. Her account on Reddit got shadow banned, which means all the content is there, but you can't check out her profile. She can't post anymore.
Couldn't you just make another?
If she did, she never let us know that she's continuing the stories. So she just,
Shorvath, let us know that you're out there, that
I
you're
mean,
okay.
I would love to, dude. Honestly,
He probably killed her
because you
or ate
could.
her.
I mean, it could be interpreted darkly, but also I'd like not to, and just assume that she just got shadow banned. She's like, yeah, well, that's not worth my time anymore.
Or here is another crazy possibility.
Yeah.
And I think Tim might be on board with me on this one.
it never happened.
Never happened.
Because
But also, all good stories are usually based on some level of truth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I definitely think that some of this happened.
it's just.
But here's the thing. For me, I think this is like maybe like 50% true. Because listen,
I really think the stuff in the beginning was true.
yeah,
like,
the
that
beginning
sounds
stuff
so true.
Yeah, 'cause
sounds
if that
real.
stuff
Yeah.
happened, but then to continue that is just ridiculous. Like,
Yeah, the
why
only
would you
reason-
read his chapters? Why would you continue any type of contact?
If some
this
douche
person.
pulled anyone off of a bleacher and made them bite through their lip, I mean that's stitches.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And,
That's assault,
And
pretty
then
much.
you're still like, hey, read my novel. Okay.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
dude, no.
No.
No, I think that the guy has been over embellished and the girl exists in terms of the first story.
Well,
Yeah.
somebody
there
told
was
us
there was a
yeah.
girl in the story that got hit on by someone really cringeworthy and just over embellished all the way to four stories.
I think it might have been one of those cases where she got really popular
Mm-hmm. And then she
and
started.
people were like, oh
yeah.
man, we want to hear more.
We wanna
But
hear more.
Sort of like-
she made it up, yeah.
I mean,
keep it
even
going.
even in my Japanese studies class, I've had two people got like kind of stalked in two girls in this.
Oh,
Because-
I don't doubt that it happens.
Because okay, so there's only two types of people that go into the Japanese studies class. Usually, people who really shouldn't be in there in terms of cringeworthiness. Like they just wanna
Show
learn-
off, pretty much.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay, and then there's the other type of people who kind of want to learn history. Okay, the other type of people is 50% male, female. Okay, the other the cringeworthy people are all
All male.
male.
Always
Okay.
male.
Actually, I want to say this though. On the Weeaboo Tales subreddit, there's a lot of stories about girl like weeaboos. Like there's a lot of girl
dude, in my
weeaboos.
high
It
school,
happens. It happens.
Yeah.
my
it happens, but
my like, I guess like biggest experience with weeb. Well, there's
Crumb bum.
crumb bum.
Yeah.
There's one person we all know that is
Yeah,
kind of he's pretty crumb bummy, and I had a lot of crumb bummy interactions with him. But aside from him, I'm not gonna say his name. I'm not
Okay.
gonna. Aside from him, do you know who I'm talking about? It's really gonna bother me if you don't know who I'm.
you can say
Wait,
it.
from your high
you gotta
school?
say it after.
No, not from my high school.
From Arvado?
Arvado.
Yeah, I do know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but aside from him, before him in high school, there was two crumb bums that I knew I didn't know them, but I saw them around. And it was like a really great story that I told myself watching them from a different perspective, you know, from far away. There's this one kid, little chubby guy. He always had like a backpack that was way too big for him. He always ran like this.
Yeah, the V.
The V. He wore a lot of Dragon Ball Z shirts and whatever. Yeah. And he ran everywhere. To the cafeteria, to the classes.
Well, that's his ninja way.
Right. So he was always doing that. And he always wore like little jean shorts and whatever. Not little, but that was his thing. Anyway, everyone sort of just left him alone. I mean, we were nice enough to him. Like, no one made fun of him, really. No one ever did anything. We just sort of looked at him while he ran by, and everyone was like, that guy's... wow. And, you know, but he had no friends. I mean, he ate lunch by himself, and people would try to talk to him and be like, oh, hey, man, but he was super weird, and no one... Not even the magic kids were interested. Nobody was interested in being his friend.
He was the crumb bum.
He was the crumb bum. Then, though, there was a girl. There was a girl who was, I mean, she always wore the same sweater. She was very not good looking.
Okay.
And she was similar in some ways to him, I guess. Not very popular. No one talked to her. She was new. Like, she just started there. Like, I think he got there a year after I did.
It's going to end with her trying to move into his apartment.
No. But they started hanging out. They're friends. And I was like, yes, dude, that's awesome. They're going to be together. And I hope, in my mind, they're still together to this day.
Of course
wow.
they are.
Yeah. Just, they've never kissed. They've never done anything because they're both too awkward for that.
Yeah. Oh, also because the characters never
But they
do
hang
that.
out. Yeah, they hang out.
Neat.
Dude, that was like a...
They became romantic friendship.
I had a story like that when I was living in Japan, too, where like a really kind of like crumb-bummy guy met a really kind of like socially awkward girl. And then they
a match made in heaven that will
Yeah.
never be that will never actually happen because they're too awkward.
used a prayer room because it's the only thing in the commons that they could
To
lock.
hook up?
Yeah, everybody hooked up in the prayer room.
Oh, they hooked
Oh,
up.
good. Let's...
They couldn't have been that awkward.
Something happened.
Actually, you know what another weeaboo experience I had in high school was? There was a Japanese foreign exchange student who came to our school. And what was his name? His name was Taro or something.
Yeah.
And he was like a super cool dude. Like, all he wanted to do was just hang out and smoke and whatever. Like, he was a very, like, normal, cool guy.
Yeah.
But holy shit, did these white kids come out of the woodwork. Like, you're from Japan? Oh my god. And they, like, try to be, like, super... I don't know.
There's a lot of stories like that where, like, a regular, like, average Japanese person
And he was
is
just,
attacked by weeaboos.
And I remember I heard him talking in passing, like, we were walking somewhere, and he was just like, man... A lot of you people like Japan a lot more than even Japanese.
It's too much.
He was pretty uncomfortable, yeah.
I was thinking to myself, what's our hashtag for this last episode? Do we have a random moment where we had a hashtag?
I feel like there was something. I just can't put my finger on it. But
Cringeworthy.
can I share with you guys just maybe two things? But one thing that I was thinking about talking about was strange courtship rituals that people would do. So the one that I thought was funny was that in 19th century in Austria, what they would do is women would take an apple slice, cram it under their armpits during dances, and then they dance the whole night. And then at the end of the night, they would go up to the guy that they liked, and they would take out the apple from under their armpit and give it to the guy. If he liked her back, he would then eat it.
Yeah.
Oh my lord!
That was the thing. I read that, yeah.
Yeah.
No
Who
way.
came up with that?
Do you guys
That's
read the
awful.
same Wikipedia articles? What's going on?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know,
Noosh
we're
knows,
just led to the
Noosh
same
knows
places.
a lot of things about a lot of
How do you
weird
get
stuff.
to the Wikipedia article about courtship?
No, they're
rituals
just-
with
they're
apple
just-
slices?
Archives of useless information in their head.
Just random stuff. I think the one that was really cool, I mean, it's not that weird or anything, but what Victorian women would do to let people know, let guys know what they would talk with fans. So, like, if they liked a guy, or no, the one that said if they weren't interested, they would simply rest the fan on their left cheek. And there was a whole code. There's a whole system of code.
Did the guys know this code?
No, man. They never know the
No,
code.
you can't know the code.
Because
man.
that would be
It'll
way too easy.
It'll ruin everything.
She's fanning. She's into it.
Yeah,
Done.
exactly.
They figure which side of the cheek it's supposed to be on. My left or her left.
Fan.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty funny. In 18th century New England, because they weren't allowed to be by themselves, men and women. So what would happen is that they would have a courting stick or a courting tube. And what this was a 6-foot-long hollow tube, and it would allow them to have one end, the other, and they would whisper to each other and just talk through this tube.
Like a telephone?
Basically. So, but if you wanted to talk to your girlfriend, your boyfriend, you just have to always carry this stick around.
Hey, now people slide into DMs.
Hey, you guys, before you turn 18, do you guys ever pass notes to each other or to people you like?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
That's a common thing. Well, how come nobody talked about that?
That doesn't happen anymore. People
That doesn't
got cell
exist.
phones.
Yeah,
The people have cell phones, but
What my friends and I would do, I remember we mainly did this in middle school, but we would come up with nicknames for people. So then when we'd write each other notes, we'd write these nicknames down so that if anyone ever found it, they wouldn't know who we were talking about. But I remember, I forget who I had a crush on, but he became Captain Hook, and my friend, her crush became Peter Pan. So we'd have this whole conversation of Captain Hook and Peter Pan.
Hot.
Yeah.
So since this is going to be our season finale, we should let our audience know what they should expect. Basically, guys, what we can expect in the future is that we will have a compilation of all of our episodes for this season available on YouTube, and we will get that up probably in the next week or two, and we'll have it available like our season 1 episodes. Also, what we're going to do is before the next season starts, so season 3 of this show will start sometime in August when, California State University, Dominguez Hills has a new fall semester. When that fall semester starts, we will start our season 2. Season 3, and we will have the date at some point. Before that, what we're going to do is that I'm going to make sure that we get onto iTunes officially before then. Like, for sure, season 3, we're going to be on iTunes. And I have a plan to make that happen, so we're going to take care of that. And aside from that, just expect mostly the same, maybe a new song, some format reworking, just whatever, but mostly same kind of approach to things, I think.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds about right, guys?
Why is everyone looking at me?
Because you're the Ryan. Your name is literally first.
I literally can't face Noosh.
No.
Sometimes he always gives me that seat. I don't know why. Must be something.
Sit there.
I know. I never get to see you. Until now.
You can move there from now on.
Okay.
Alright.
All right, so we're going to be ending this episode. Tim, do you have anything you want to signal boost or promote or shout out or anything like that?
Nope.
Thanks, Tim.
Neat.
Neato.
Ken.
Oh,
I mean, this is the last time you'll get signal boost all summer, so.
One question. If a girl asks you to go camping, does it mean she likes you?
Dude, Ken.
How many other penises are there?
That's awesome.
Right,
that's awesome.
That's the real question.
That's the perfect answer to that question. That's it for me.
Courtney.
I got nothing. I'll just, if any of our 5 fans want to get in contact with us during our little hiatus, email ryanandnoosh@gmail.com, Facebook, Ryan and Noosh are dead, Twitter, Ryan and Noosh.
Mm-hmm.
So
I forget we have a Twitter.
Get in contact with us.
Yep.
Season 2, motherfuckers. That's it. It's over. That's season 2.
Over.
I mean, I'll just say I'm graduating this Friday, so
Nice.
Woohoo! Walking.
Congrats.
I'm out of here, but I'm back here because I keep doing the show.
Womp womp.
But I'm out of here. Yeah. Woohoo! So yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks guys for bearing with us through another season. We're getting this show's really taking off. Let's be
taking off.
Let me be real for a moment. I actually think that we should take a moment and be really we did good. Like, I can't believe we're here at the end of a second season.
We got through a second season.
Yeah. I mean, like, when we started this thing, it was barely on legs. Now
it was actually held together by strings and promises.
It was.
That was our actual.
Yeah, that was our tagline.
That was our tagline.
Are we
so what is it
still
held
on
together now?
Strings and promises?
We have stronger strings.
Yeah.
Threads now, maybe.
Yeah.
Threads and promises.
Threads and promises.
Yeah.
That's about right.
It's a still improvement.
Yeah.
It's not too shabby.
Yeah.
You could
But
One day we can have ropes.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what?
I was thinking ropes.
I'll say
and
this.
promises.
I want to say that I think that if we do a good job preparing, season 3 that could be our breakout year. That could be the one.
And then we could
Dude, let me tell you this. Some of the people on this this station, other shows, they have fans in other countries, dude. Like one dude has like a fan base in Sweden.
Nice.
I'm just saying,
Dude,
like, we could be that.
We need a fan
We
base
suck,
in Sweden.
dude.
We need a fan base in Sweden. Have you seen
And
I'm
Swedish
irritated.
Girls?
no, actually though, we are in the top 4, top 5 every week though. Like our show is pretty
Are
consistent.
we in Sweden?
No.
No.
Noosh,
We're not.
Then
have
we
you,
have not made it, damn it.
have you seen the Swedish Girl?
God, everything
Save for-
comes back to that freaking
We're gonna save it for season 3.
Wow.
Season 2, season 2, motherfucker.
season 2.
Season
That's
2.
it.
That's
Yeah.
Season 2, motherfuckers.
Season 2.
Ooh.
All right, the song we're ending with is
Play it. Season 2.
Which
Season
was-
2 Swedish Girl.
Killer Cats by Kaibu. Season 2.
It's the other way around.
Oh, season 2.
Okay.
Motherfuckers, you have to say that.
Ryan and Noosh Are Dead is made possible thanks to KDHR, the student-operated radio station of California State University, Dominguez Hills. For more information about KDHR, please visit www.kdhr.net. The intro song for this show is Space Ace by Blind. This music is made available thanks to Overclocked Remix. For more information, please visit ocremix.org.